Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
I hear Matt, they're giggling.
I think that's him grimacing from back pain.
That's
actually.
Marines.
He has back pain.
Oh, yeah.
What was just carrying us all weekend?
Gonna
Is
get
our
drafted.
old friend Land Larison still in the picture?
Sure is.
If you would like to buy real estate on Land Larison Island, it's available. I have
months.
beachfront property.
I need a follow-up. I need to know what Brady Bunch episode had quicksand.
Maybe the Hawaii
I know,
episode?
I know the Brady Bunch.
I've only seen one episode of the Brady Bunch.
Which one?
It's Joe Namath, right?
Ball knower. He didn't like the route that Bobby ran.
Glass eating right tackle.
A lot of glass eating the last week or
that's
so.
Fred.
That's
I blame it on
the
Fred.
term
I'm
glass.
not chewing on nails. I
Stay
want
tuned.
linemen who feel that every snap is a survival for my manhood.
He ate glass.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Thursday here at Gillette Stadium, and the gang is all here. It's Alex, it's Evan, it's Deuce, it's Paul, it's me, it's Ace in the booth, pushing the buttons back there. All right, so Thursday, the draft is behind us. Undrafted free agent. Have we completed that process?
No,
Not
No?
officially. Not officially.
Really?
We're still waiting
But
for the
I'm-
announcement.
We're going through the film though, Fred.
Yeah.
Of the
Oh,
people that have been
grinding.
reported?
The UDFAs. Yeah.
Any gems that you've come up
Yeah,
with?
pick a gem, Ev. Who you got?
The tight end can
Reportedly.
block. I don't know if they need another blocking tight end, but
Paul's intrigued.
Arkin he can really block. Like,
Good, Mike.
you know, he reminds me a little bit is the Who Man. You know, like we're talking about a guy that for Illinois was like basically an extra offensive lineman on the field. He's a good blocker. The UAB guard can play a little bit. Morgan.
Morgan.
John Darius.
Yeah, he's twitchy, good athlete. Can move a little bit. Everybody likes the wide receiver, Dorner, though from North Texas.
Yep.
But some speed concerns there, like a 4.6. But some guys that I think
perfect.
that could
Fred, you'll like him.
that could maybe compete for a roster spot.
Okay.
Looking at some of those positions, I think tight end's going to be tough. You know, that's a deep position.
There was a stretch for the Patriots where, like, every year it seemed like
We're
they had-
21 out of 22 right now.
Yeah.
21 of the last 22 years.
Okay.
So they've had a good run of it. Obviously, last year Elijah Ponder makes the team. So, they had one with Vrabel last year. So yeah, it
So
happened.
there's a good chance.
Yeah, someone will.
Pretty good.
What about
Yeah.
John Darius Morgan, though? Could he have the inside track? I mean, we talked about they need a
Yeah.
guard. He sounds athletic. Maybe
Yeah, he's pretty athletic. I thought he was pretty twitchy out of his stance. Could pass protect a little bit. He's got a little bit of nasty. Likes to finish. Likes to put guys in the ground.
Does he eat the glass, though?
A little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say he's the strongest guy, but he does like to go out there and try to assert his dominance on people.
6'3",
I watched him
2.
against Tennessee, SEC
21.
team, and he held his own. Looked pretty good. It's funny, like when you watch guys like that are on these smaller schools, and like it's like 4/5 of the offensive line loses their matchup, but the one NFL player is in the middle, like winning his one-on-one. So yeah, I think he can play a little bit. The other guy, Rizzi, maybe not so much, a little clunky for me, but I thought that the UAB guard was pretty good.
Little pitchy dog. Little clunky for you.
Yeah, it just little heavy.
John Darius got 35 and 3/8 inch arms. I know that's very important to all of us, of course. So just,
Yeah,
But not you. So why are you pretending you're important to you
I
now?
think that's.
I got to watch the Miami defensive tackle is next on my list. Bly, however you say his name.
I think it's bleh.
He was actually he was actually in.
He's from Edinburgh.
He was
Mike is
actually
on
in the
fire
Beast.
today.
He had a write up in the Beast, like a full write up, which is usually the guy. Okay, that guy.
He's not a best of the
That
rest.
guy could get drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was probably. At least according to Dane, he was probably the highest rated UDFA that they got out of the group. So, and they got the receiver from Culver Stockton,
Yeah.
who I didn't even know existed.
Kyle Dixon.
But he's like
Oh, that's not his name? That's his school?
that's his
Yeah.
school. Culver
Doc.
They
never
play
heard of
in
that.
the Heart of America Conference in the NAIA.
Oh, well, that explains.
Where
it.
is this school?
It's in the heart of
It's
America?
in Canton,
Alex.
Missouri, actually.
So middle
in the
America,
homeland.
some flyover state.
Yeah,
no offense.
Sounds it.
But he is a ridiculously good athlete. Like he actually went to Missouri's pro day. Missouri invited him to work out at the pro day, so he did the pro day testing at Missouri, and he's a ridiculously good athlete. But he has a 3-minute highlight reel on his personal Huddle account, and that is the only film that anybody has of him.
Wow.
Thanks to him.
And it's a highlight tape.
So him and TJ have the same highlight tape.
Yeah,
Their own personal huddle.
yeah, it's
a
not
Huddle account,
it's
yeah.
not a full game. It's just his highlights from the season.
That's funny.
So I mean that's
There's
what we
high
have
schools
to
in
go.
Texas that put more into the high school
NAIA.
game.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you asking, yes, Evan is a little bit under the weather. That's why he sounds the way he does. We
Yeah.
got a couple emails that came in.
Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
People concerned.
I
yeah.
thought maybe people were wondering about the
He's been
volume.
staying up
Evan
at all
got
hours.
me sick last week, and I've recovered before him.
We're trying to save Paul.
Oh, you've been sick the whole
Tell ya,
week?
one of you
So
guys
I was
gets me
sick.
sick.
He sounded like this since
I was sick
like,
last
the beginning
week.
of last week. Now Fred got it.
Black lung over there.
No one's safe.
I'll be back here if you need
I was
me.
sick last week. Thanks for all your concern. And then the draft happened, and I was getting over it. And then the draft hit, and then it
Grinding
went
film
downhill
all
again.
hours.
And that first round pick just really made you even more sick.
I actually no, I don't know. I think just talking as much as we did for 3 straight days it came back.
Yeah.
and so
I'll
here
teach
we
you,
are.
Mel. Tone it down a little
Gotta get
bit.
you some
And now I'm
vitamins.
grinding.
Some of us
Now
more
I'm
than
grinding tape of something called Culver Stockton in the NAIA.
It's a wonderful liberal arts
So much
school in
fun.
Canton, Missouri.
Gotta get you some vitamin C.
Wonderful art school.
All right.
I'm
well,
having
we
fun
got
doing it.
so usually by this time draft picks have come in, but we have to wait till May 7th. That's when they're
Yeah,
coming.
a little different this
I'm
year.
annoyed.
I agree.
Yep.
A little different.
I'm annoyed. I planned my colonoscopy a couple weeks after I thought it would happen, and now
Thanks for sharing, Deuce. Like I don't know why did we just openly share?
Well, because I think
about
men's health
these
is an
things.
important thing, and if you are
It
over
is.
50 years old, you
Yeah.
can go
The
ahead.
more
and
you
tell
know.
Mike is having a strong start to the
Colon
show.
cancer is on the rise.
That's
It's-
right.
it's
I'm not
really
telling them
alarming.
not to do it. Just keep it to yourself. Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe
you're not the
it's
one who has to
good.
go through it. I mean,
It's really on the rise for really young people
Yeah.
right now. It's pretty concerning.
Someone out there might be saying, I think I might need a
Deuce is
colonoscopy.
saving lives.
But I don't want to do it. It sounds like a lot. And,
No.
you know, and then they hear Mike Dussault say, you know,
That's right.
unabashedly,
Come
I'm
on.
getting a
Listen.
colonoscopy on May 7th.
unabashed.
I know that
Right?
it used to be like 50 that's when you started, but now I think
No.
they're moving that up to
It's
40.
like 30.
Yeah.
It should be
45,
like
I think.
30.
Well,
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
part
it's-
of it is they make more money.
It's generally
Yeah,
40.
but-
And then if you have any
Yeah.
sort of history in your family, they'll move you
Yeah.
up. Like,
But let me say,
But the
I'm
rates
a
of
pro.
young people are.
if you're
pretty crazy.
contemplating getting a colonoscopy, whether for pleasure or for health, I would go ahead and do it because it's the prep is a pain in the butt, but it is a good purge. Everybody
Yeah.
needs a good purge every once in a while,
Well,
but
and
he got me like 3
and
times.
it's one of the
today.
most relaxing sleeps that you'll have. So
It is.
well, that's
go ahead and get
It's-
your
listen.
colonoscopy.
Alex,
I need to be excused.
you're a youngin, Alex. You don't know, like, it is the most relaxing sleep that you'll have.
That's what they
it's
tell
a
me.
great rest.
I'm gonna look into that.
But I think Fred teed it up because
on
next
this side of
Tuesday's
the
show,
table are
I'm going to be in the middle of that prep because I have to go on a low residue diet.
Yeah, I
I think
don't
is
really
we've been talking about
understand
that.
this
So
whole thing.
I'm probably going to be a
What
little
does that
hangry
mean?
next
Now,
Tuesday.
yeah, what is
Low
this-
residue.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Low residue?
Like no nuts, like stuff that's going to stick in your intestines for a
Oh.
while. So they want to clean it out completely.
So there's a lot of
I guess
fiber.
the juice that I get to drink on Wednesday night and Thursday morning will get the finish the job. But apparently on Saturday I got to start.
So stuff that's hard to digest, they don't want you to eat.
Yeah, like grains. It's a lot of like
Red meat?
white bread. Maybe. I think I can eat eggs. I think there's gonna be a lot of eggs, which obviously is gonna probably
Leafy
not be
greens?
great for the flatulence. But
Beans.
what are
Nature's
we?
fruit.
Clean
we
you
need
out.
to get off this topic.
Evan, this is
Let me tell
important.
you, because
If you were more concerned about your health, you wouldn't still be sick.
I know, Evan.
so
Come on.
for the
Sorry.
for the surgery I had
Grinding
last
tape.
Friday, I had to go on a liquid diet the day before,
Ooh.
and all I really could eat was like Jello and like chicken broth.
Yeah.
And so at around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock when I got home, I had like a big mug of hot chicken broth. Let me tell you something. 20 minutes after that, I was cleaned out.
Yeah.
Like it just sped me up.
In some cultures, like when I was in
We're still doing
Guatemala,
this.
those steakhouses and stuff,
I
they
stopped paying
serve
attention,
you
like,
broth, like real homemade bone broth as like the appetizer. It's like instead of a bread bowl, you get broth. I was like addicted to it. I was asking for so
It's
many
good.
more cups, and it helps you with digestion.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean,
And it's
I can tell you
delicious.
firsthand.
I mean, I teed it up. Fred ran with it. That's all I'll say about that. But
All right.
Fred went direct to camera.
He did. It was like a
where's my
PSA.
one?
It was a
Culver
PSA.
Stockton to
Yeah.
colonoscopy.
So,
If you've got a colonoscopy because of
We're big
this episode,
advocates
please
of
reach
self health. So take care of yourself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get on that maintenance. It's like rotating your tires. You got to
it.
do it every
That's
once in a
it.
while.
Oil
It-
change.
It's
Yeah.
true. You do.
Don't be like
You know?
me.
You need it.
Take care of yourself.
You know, we're all the same
Correct.
height with this seating setup because of Fred. I think we finally found the magic. We look like we're all.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned with now you have your foot down.
Well, I'm supposed to have it
No,
elevated.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, why are you
I
not?
don't know.
We're gonna get you an ottoman.
I'm done with this.
Here, just put it right up here.
But if you were on this side, you could have a little ottoman.
I know, but they
situation.
didn't like it because
PT.
it looked awkward. So,
What's more
So-
important?
Oh, we're up
Right.
and running.
His health again. He just advocates for self health, and now he's just like, well,
Right,
it's supposed to be
ignoring doctors.
elevated,
You
but
just
I'm not
wanna
going to
be
listen.
careful
I'm
to-
getting the cast off on Monday.
Oh, good.
There you go.
So
there we go.
There you
So
go.
we got the draft in the rearview mirror, as Fred started with.
Oh,
Evan gave you the whole
back.
rundown of all the
You wanna
UDFAs, which, by the
talk
way,
football?
again, we'll tell you are not finalized. They're not official. We
A
have
lot of
not.
tryouts too, Paul. I
not-
think somebody
not
mentioned a
received the
punter. I
final-
think punter's a tryout.
Not
Oh, we
received the
talked
final
about
note.
that on the crossover.
I'm
last
interested
time. It
in
was great.
Alex because when Alex dives into some of the draft picks, sometimes we find out these random things about these people. And I didn't know, I haven't talked to you about this yet because you haven't been in the office because I know we're doing some other stuff outside of the building.
Yeah.
Secret stuff.
So I was wondering if you
Secret.
found out any nuggets off the field about anybody.
Admittedly, I haven't been able to do the full deep dive I usually do because of an undisclosed reason that we've been out of the office the last 2 days. which
Careful,
People will find out
careful.
about
I've been
eventually.
in the office.
Careful.
I've been
However,
working. Someone has to work.
I'm doing my draft profile on NAMD. So some cool
Is that you're
nuggets.
just going to go with Namdi because you don't want to pronounce the last name?
Obiazor.
Obi Zor.
Obi
I think we're
Izor?
going with Obi Izor.
Yeah, according to the Brubler
So he's a twin.
pronunciation.
His sister was a basketball player, UNLV.
Oh,
4 siblings, little brother, like really athletic family. Little brother plays Division I football as well. So trying to line up interviews with those coaches, but that's like the most I've been able to really get into with undisclosed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been
Confidential
I've been
reason I've
doing
been out of
some
office.
work on Raritan and Baron Morton, and Raritan actually has a lot of. His father played at Notre Dame as well. Played for Ty Willingham and Charlie Weiss. He was an offensive lineman. His uncle played at Nebraska, or his grandfather played at Nebraska. I think both of them may have. And he recently married.
Yeah.
So that's 2 out of the first 3 draft picks are already married,
So we have something
entering the
in
NFL.
common then.
Some engaged already
that.
too. It's like last year's draft class.
Yeah. So,
That made me feel old, like that he blocked for Brady Quinn. You know.
well, he's, actually, I was talking, I talked to the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame yesterday, and that's what he said. He's like, this is my 3rd stint at Notre Dame. He's, one of those career coaches with 1 million stops. And just to show you how old I am, I actually coached his father. And then, Eli shows up in the, for us a few years ago, and I was like, wow. He goes, I coached his, and I said, that's all right. So that's all right, coach. This is my 28th draft. I can relate. And I think he felt a kinship with me when I said that.
Yeah.
And that was after the Notre Dame SID was really complimentary of my Boston accent. She really enjoyed the Boston accent.
Yeah.
I said,
All
you
right,
should have seen
I
it
guess.
Paul,
when I
when
went
you
to
try
college.
I feel
do a
like you
Boston
hardly
accent,
have
you sound
one.
like
I
you're
sound like I'm from
Pennsylvania.
Philly.
Philly, yeah.
Yeah.
I love when people compliment you guys' accents and it's like you barely have them.
You can tell I'm from Boston.
You lay it on when you need to?
No. Oh, evidently when I do that, I sound like I'm from Philly, according to one of our listeners over
Right.
the weekend.
You don't.
No.
No, my
No,
college
Philly-
roommates.
Philly
went
has
to
a very-
Philly's
When I
distinct.
called Veritaka
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
by accident.
Raritan.
Every once in a while, the Boston accent definitely escapes.
I feel like it comes out for me when you had a few drinks in my system.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start getting the.
You get lazy with your R's.
Yeah, the R's just kind of go out the door.
It's funny, if you go down the East Coast, starting from Maine, and really study accents, they kind of morph into each other and they change as you get down all the way to like Georgia, and then Florida is nobody's from Florida, so then it stops there. But
That's funny.
We don't
Even
do a
Rhode
study.
Island to Boston.
Yeah,
is
Rhode
so
Island has
funny.
a little bit of a New
York.
York. and-
Are you watching Rhode
Yeah,
Island
yeah.
Desperate Housewives?
I am not.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't. I don't
gold.
do the
I
Desperate
am.
Housewives.
It's
I went down
incredible.
and did a visit. I visited Jared and Ashley's coffee shop, and Jared was working there.
South County
Yeah,
Commons.
he was right there grinding. I was going to throw a joke though, because he was actually Jared's literally working.
I'm telling you, it's his best show.
He's
ever.
working the register, and we got our order in, and I was so mad. I wanted, because my wife was a little bit starstruck. I think she seemed like a little bit like, so what's like that? You could tell. And I didn't do it, but too late. George Costanza, I was like, will you accept this credit card? I thought that would have been great. I really thought Jared would have responded to that joke, but because I think he is a Patriots fan. I've heard that he's listened to the show, but he didn't seem to. I saw no flame of recognition in his face when we went in.
Should have walked in and said,
No
"You-
flame of recognition.
You obviously
Keep them
know.
coming.
Oh,
You obviously know who I am. I know who you are. So
look at us, just two celebrities hanging out
The
at your coffee shop.
Celtics and the Red Sox have had the Real Housewives of Rhode Island at games. I
Yeah.
think they should be keepers of the light this year.
I
They're
saw them
so
at the
messy.
Celtics
It's
game.
amazing television.
So when you gave me a credit card, can you read my name? Is that legible? Nothing.
Right. I was in full like Patriots sweatshirt, the Super Bowl hat. I was really trying to make
What a
sure.
homer.
Yeah.
honk.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
I was we were at dinner the other day, or it was actually lunch, and I was getting up to leave with Jess, and we were walking out, and one of the managers of the restaurant comes up to me and goes, "What do you think about the draft?"
Oh,
Just,
didn't even
didn't
jump
I
right
like the lead
in.
in. I'm not going to pretend I know
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
I'm just going to automatically lead in with
Yeah.
a question to
Yeah.
let you know I know who you are.
And this is a pretty busy establishment, so I was like, "So next time we come, you get me a table, but,
Yeah.
you don't have to wait."
Work
I
the
thought you were gonna be like,
channels.
sorry, no
Yeah.
autographs.
Yeah. No, I just want a table. I want to jump the line.
You hear this, Jess? You hear this?
All right. So
We're
there's
all over
that.
the map.
There's that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting to hear when we're working next Saturday for the rookie
I can't
mini
wait for
camp.
that.
So
That's
we'll
gonna be
see.
Yeah, I'm out, Brick.
Get to see some of these. You'll be
come on.
living the life, and
That's how we discovered
The pre-
Efton Chisholm.
Discovered.
Sorry, that
And
was
now
the,
you guys want him to go away because you're signing
discovered
four
him.
wide receiver
that was the
on
first time we
UDFAs.
laid eyes on Lan Larison and Efton Chisholm, and everybody came out of that being like, "Oh man, these two undrafted rookies can
I
play
remember
a
you.
little bit."
I remember you guys breathlessly talking about it.
I
and
thought
me
it was-
laughing about it.
I thought it was the first time we saw that Travion Henderson has a jetpack attached to him. That I feel like I remember seeing him run a little bit there,
Yeah,
and being like,
yeah.
"Ooh."
Funny
this
how
guy
that
moves.
works. Like
Yeah.
Kinda
all
knew
these
that
big
one, but-
takeaways. The second round pick ended up being legit, and the others
Right.
kind of were there.
Yeah, Will Campbell's. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to read. Were we inside last
Yeah,
year?
we were
In the bubble.
inside.
It was
It was
raining,
It was
right?
raining, and I
Yeah.
remember
Hard to
we were
see.
standing on
I
the
was
sideline.
actually
And they had
there.
a food truck, so
Yeah,
you
they had a
guys
food
were
truck.
outside with
Yeah.
the burger food
Yeah.
truck.
I was there for that because there was a kid from Endicott that got a tryout, and I was taking videos of him to send to my nephew.
Yeah.
We were standing on the sideline, and we had never really. I mean, obviously, Bill never invited us to rookie minicamp, let alone let us stand on the sideline for a practice. And I remember Vrabel, ran by, and he just goes, "Get back! All of you, get back!" And we were like all too close to like the field.
Screaming. I remember
Yeah,
screaming
and he
at us.
was like, "They're not gonna stand that close, Stacy. Get them back!" and we were like we were on top of the field. And that will be next Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Probably like noon, I would say,
come
1
on.
o'clock.
I got a flag
Yeah.
football game at 11.
Yep.
I wanna see that. Yeah. Not mine, of course.
Jacob in Illinois writes in, so I took several weeks off from the podcast after the Super Bowl. Call it my time to grieve and reflect on the Cinderella season we had. I recently called my grandmother as I was passing her house in my semi, and she told me she was home to wave because Grandpa was out shopping for a new Speed Queen washer. I couldn't help but laugh and say to myself, all right, Fred, I can take a hint. I'll come back. So he's back.
Signs from the universe.
Yep. I'm thinking about getting a new Speed Queen.
Really?
Really? Why would you get
They
rid
have
of
a
your
new
other
one.
Speed
Would you ever
Queen
need
that
another one?
apparently
You don't
was
need
going to
it?
No,
last
I don't
forever?
want
need
it?
it. They have a new one that the
I'll take your old one.
agitator
How much?
goes both ways
Oh.
instead of just one way. So it's a little bit more gentle on clothes.
Okay.
Still got to put
For your
quarters in it,
cardigans?
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Do
get it.
you're an agitator. Do you go both ways?
I'll go anyway. Anyway, the
He's a
wind blows.
facilitator.
First 20 minutes of this.
Yeah.
It's the best show ever.
People are either gonna love this or they're gonna absolutely hate it, and there's no in between.
I don't have to pick up the pieces. I'm gone the next week.
It's the off season. It's like I'm wondering about your boy Barth though, because I saw like another
God.
appearance by him like on Giardi's
Oh.
podcast, and I'm like,
God.
how many times can Alex Barth break down the draft? Like, I mean, he's got it on 98.5. He's got it on a podcast. He's with the CLNS guys. He's with Giardi. He's with you. Like, he is just everywhere, omnipresent in
This
the.
is his time.
This is just.
This is his time.
Yeah,
It's
we
the year of Alex.
so yesterday they do the crossover, which is all four of them together on the clinic
exciting.
spots. And usually the one right after the draft, I usually pop in for like 10 or 15 minutes and give my take on the draft. So they wanted me to do that last night at around 6:30. He texts me at 6 and says, "Hey, we're doing the crossover right now. If you can jump on." I was like, "You gave me 30 minutes notice to be able to do this? Like, thanks." And then so then I went on and I was
Everyone was busy.
He went on.
He couldn't do it. He was busy.
I was able to. He asked me to roast all of their draft opinions,
Oh boy.
and I was like, okay, well that's a weird thing to ask, but sure. And so then with him, I was like, well, I've just heard you've repeated your take on 17 different shows, so you're just going over and over again on this. Like, we know your take, we got it.
Right. Leave him wanting more.
It's
okay.
It's like 6 o'clock. They want him on at 6:30. It's like I'm in the middle of Culver, Stockton, or whatever.
I mean, like, if you want somebody to come on your show, then you give them, you ask them with a little bit of notice.
Especially if you have an assignment.
Right. Disrespectful.
We want you on the show, and we want you to have a script written.
Now.
Yeah. I was like, no offense, but I haven't really been paying attention too
To
much
you?
to
Right,
what
right,
you
right.
guys have been saying about the draft.
Which of my 6 mock drafts did you like the most?
I got a lot of tweets about after the matchmaking at the draft party about like why we can't do this for Alex Barth.
Oh man.
Might have to
Fred
get something
tried.
in the works.
Unfortunately, the Patriots didn't hold up their end of the bargain.
Oh yeah, you never got him a prostitute.
I tried. I couldn't get one to.
Well,
They said, "Can
How
we
hard
see a
did you
picture?"
try?
They said no.
yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right. All right. Poor Barth.
Anyways.
Yeah. He's married to football.
Hey, he's
Sorry.
going to do a side show here. He's going to have to take some slings and arrows. That's how it works.
Let's see.
One of his
Devin in Toronto wants to talk about football.
Oh, sorry.
Could you? He didn't say that. I'm just.
No.
Could you outline the key differences between Keon White and Gabe Akis? We've had this question before. I was and still am disappointed with the White trade. I thought we could have used him in a rotational role for us, like he does now in San Francisco. Wondering why he wasn't a fit and why Gabe Akis is seen as a perfect fit. Is it attitude and effort, or more of an ability issue? White struggling to line up on the edge.
So can I just first?
I mean, they're 20 pounds. Akis is 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah. Well,
than Keon
what
White.
role is Keon White playing that you think translates back to New England? That I would answer your question with a question, but I mean, there's.
I think
obvious
Evan has the
difference.
answer to the question.
I don't think they're similar as players at all.
The 20 pounds to me made White a tweener.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
Akis is an edge guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, he's even dropped in coverage. He's done something. I don't think Keon White ever really had that in his game, in his college career at either one of his stops. I understand. I mean, they're both second-round picks. They're both sort of, quasi passer. I think White had like 8 sacks his senior year at Georgia Tech. So it's not like he was without talent coming out of the league, coming out of college. But I do think that added bulk didn't allow him to properly play on the edge. I don't think he was quite athletic enough to play on the edge, and wasn't quite physical enough to play inside.
Yeah, I think their body types are totally different.
Yeah.
But he definitely, I think they're looking at the physicality of both guys and saying that there's similarities.
Okay.
But I definitely think
Yeah.
there's more.
I
There's
don't
more
see them
upside
as
with
similar
Akis.
at all.
And in terms of Akis being the perfect fit, I haven't heard anyone say that other than he could be a good replacement for Chason. But I don't know if he's going to be a perfect fit.
Well, I
see.
think the perfect fit is relative to his play style and his attitude, and like a perfect Vrabel guy.
Oh, that type of culture type of thing.
Yeah, but
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, Akis is 6'4", 260. Keon was over 280. he was a hand in the dirt defensive end. Akis is an outside the tackle, stand up edge rusher. I just don't really see the similarities in terms of the player.
I
type.
agree. I agree. I don't either.
I mean, it's interesting if you go on Mock Draftable, they have a really good comparison tool, and they don't. I mean, looks like Gabe Akis much more explosive. I mean, he didn't really run, so it's not.
Well,
completely...
they play different positions.
Yeah.
Like Keon White's
the way Evan just described it, Keon White was more of a hands in the ground defensive lineman, and I think Akis can be a stand up edge guy.
Yeah,
can be. Now maybe he'll have his hand in the ground too. I don't know, but I think he can play standing up. He did.
Well, that's what his position is. Yeah. Keon White, I think his best ability was rushing over the guard.
Yep.
But I don't think he could do that all the time because he couldn't stop the run from over the guard. Right. So he was like a true third down.
That was
interior
from the time he was
rusher.
drafted. It was how are they going to use him because he's a tweener. Doesn't really have
he
a
was
position.
a tweener.
Yeah.
I know it's a cliche, but I think it was true
And
in
it was
his
true.
case.
Yeah.
I
mean, he had his flashes. We all had high hopes for him, but you know.
Yeah.
Tim says, Fred, for the love of God, send Evan home. But before you do, ask him if the A.J. Brown thing falls through, should the Patriots re-sign Diggs?
So you want me to answer your question, but you're going to make fun of me at the same
before
time.
you go,
He's not making if he's looking out for you.
He's looking out for you.
I'm fine.
Evan doesn't want to
My
go
voice,
home.
it sounds worse than it is.
Yeah.
Diggs, I don't know. I mean, in theory, it could work. I think that they pivoted to Romeo Dobbs, and they're kind of on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
People are
agree.
forgetting about him, Dobbs, that they signed him, you know?
Hope not. It's a
Yeah.
big piece. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel earlier in the offseason I could have seen it maybe happening, but I feel like I'm more and more out on that. It feels like we've kind of moved on from that, and that's not just on the field, but I think off the field too, that they're going a little bit of a different direction. But it's an interesting guy that's out there, and some team's going to sign him at some point, and I think that team will feel pretty good about bringing in a 1,000-yard receiver.
Sure.
He's slowing down a little bit, but I think he can still contribute to a team.
Why do you think he hasn't signed with anyone yet?
Probably waiting to see how the draft played out. I mean, I would think maybe in the next couple weeks, maybe.
I mean, your thing, Fred. He probably hasn't gotten the money he's looking for. But I never say never with the Patriots because there's too many times that something happens that I just thought was kind of stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't see this. I agree with everything you guys said. I don't see this coming together.
I mean, I say that too after watching.
And I'm really not interested in it coming together either.
No,
I'd
neither.
rather move on.
I'm not really either. But it was striking to me in that last episode of Forged in Foxborough, just how much Diggs really was part of the fabric of the personality of that 2025 Patriots team, and they're going to have to figure part of that out, and other guys are going to have to emerge with that kind of vocal role. I mean, it's primarily about what's on the field, but he was pretty productive. Those big games, you're going to need guys to step up in some of those big games during the middle of the season that Diggs helped you win.
Jess in Brooklyn. Throughout the spring, Evans said that with it being a bit of a down year in terms of talent, this was a get-on-base type of draft instead of a swing-for-the-fences draft. Do you all think we got on base with our selections? Also, which second- and third-year players should be nervous based on the picks? Wallace and Bryant must be high on the list.
Oh.
Is this did we get on base with our picks?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I actually, besides Akis, I kind of think they went in the other direction. Like, I think Alomu and Raritan have a ton of upside.
High potential picks.
Yeah, but aren't necessarily guaranteed hits. Akis, I think, is a get-on-base kind of pick. I think he's a guy that everybody expects to be an NFL player for a while.
And contribute immediately.
Yeah, the other two, I think, they went more with raw talent and athleticism and upside. So it's interesting.
I only see the wide receiver position if they get A.J. Brown as it's going to probably bump somebody off that was part of the team last year. But otherwise, I don't really see many guys coming in. We talked about one-for-one replacements pretty much across the board for the guys that departed and the guys that they brought in. But if they bring A.J. Brown in.
Yeah, the offensive line is always going to have some fluctuation with spots like 7, 8, 9. Like Marcus Bryant was one of them last year. Maybe Crownover is better than him. Maybe he's not. Or maybe, James Hudson shows in training camp that the veteran the veteran ability and experience is worth more than those young guys, but they'll all have a chance.
Yeah.
You're never going to go 1 year to the next with the same 9 offensive linemen. Those always rotate.
Let's see. Jean-Luc from Tennessee, originally Rhode Island. When I moved to Tennessee during the 2018 season and got to witness the short rise of the Titans with Vrabel, Byard, and Brown part of the success, I thought it would be great to have them as part of the team, maybe sooner than this, but still grateful. Was rumors that Vrabel could be replaced with Mike Tomlin. Please. Oh, please. I didn't know it was going there.
The Daily Mail.
Yeah,
What's the Daily Mail?
Don't listen to that.
It's a
Don't listen to
British
that.
tabloid.
On a
That
lighter
one I knew,
note,
Alex.
on a lighter note, Deuce, could you possibly see some more uniform combinations for this upcoming season? For example, white pants with blue jerseys, blue socks, and the all-white uniform. With the all-white uniform. And
I don't
blue
know.
socks with the all-white uniform. I like that.
All I could say is I'm going to continue to be a passionate supporter of bringing back a somewhat modernized version of the uniforms that they won 6 Super Bowls in. I would like to see that. That'll always be a passion of mine. I think when you see those uniforms on the league, you say, oh, crap, here come those Patriots. And I love that uniform.
Follow your dreams, Mike.
I follow my dreams. I'm going to do it.
I'll just never stop being amazed as how grown men can be so obsessed about uniforms.
About fashion?
Yeah,
A lot of
fashion.
people love fashion, Fred. All ages.
You consider uniforms fashion?
Sports fashion.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. They're uniforms.
Yeah, I don't.
We know that
I'm-
you're obsessed with
I'm
fashion.
The whole
not-
idea
really
of
stepped it
fashion
up.
is to stand out. Uniform is uniform.
But
you want to
fa-
be uniform.
But fashion.
Can't argue with that logic.
But fashion also like gives a feeling to the person who's observing the fashion, and I want to have uniforms that remind people of the great, unprecedented success that this franchise had, rather than, yeah, we're still kind of in the color scheme of it, but something looks a little off, and the stripes don't quite match up, and like at the very least, I'd like everything to look uniform. The stripes match. It all looks like we didn't Frankenstein a bunch of uniforms and then we'll do this with that and this with that. Like, let's have.
That's a valid point.
Really strong start to the show.
The
Really dropped
Mix
it.
and matchiness.
the uniforms now are they
Disjointed?
don't know what they want to be.
I like the all white ones
They're-
because they like.
They're a show that don't know what they want to be.
They all
They're
look-
all
they all
over
look
the
the
place.
same.
I know I don't really care as much as Deuce
I
does
passionately
about
care
this,
about it.
but I agree with his point that they need to be cleaner. They need to be.
Yeah, I look at a
Sleeker.
uniform and I'm like, oh, I like that, or I don't like that. But I kind of share Fred's mentality. And Deuce is not alone. This is a lot of people, like the obsession over uniforms.
I wouldn't say I'm obsessed.
I would say you're obsessed.
Well,
that
I did
and
have
helmets.
a database about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
You know,
no, I used to be a lot
hoodies.
more into the face mask, like the old face mask. Like
masks.
now it's all kind of uniform. Everybody kind of
The
wears the
Rydell
same
Speed Flex.
thing, but like you know that old like Willie McGinnis helmet that
Oh,
he used to wear. Where do
See,
we
the
have
fact that you
do we
know
have any back-
what Willie
so
McGinnis'
this one right
helmet
here,
was,
this is
to
just
me-
classic cornerback.
No one
Look,
can
Ty
see.
Law,
No one
Tom
can
Brady.
see it.
You know what I mean? Like tip it, like those.
But
are
the fact
great
that you don't
looks.
have to look at pictures and you just say, like, Willie McGinnis is like, the fact that you know that,
Oh yeah,
to me, is
well, I
astounding.
could also tell you like the Vrabel, like the different iterations that Vrabel went through while he was here.
that-
Like he had the long one, then he had the short one. Like I used to be more obsessed with the face mask, but now they're all kind of the same. So I can't.
He
help
had
but
the
say-
weird like blocky face mask for a while. That like now that would be considered like dweeby.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like that would be.
No, Willie McGinnis, Ty Law, like those are. I mean, and Brady is just the quintessential quarterback look with that helmet. You know, you have to get Paul's like, what did
with
that
the
look
Rydell
like?
Speed Flex.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Marine.
Who's that?
As a younger than Deuce that has had several colonoscopies due to digestive health conditions, I can attest to the fact that it is not the best sleep I've ever had.
Oh,
Well,
Claire,
sorry.
pushing back.
Maybe
do
across
them
the
different.
pond they do it differently.
It's a metric system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different.
You know, they give you bangers and mash instead of anesthesia. Good luck. Good luck with the drink prep, Deuce. All I'll say is wet wipes.
Oh, jeez.
The endage may be, as they say,
The endage.
fire. But in all seriousness, I hope
Not
the
a
procedure goes
conversation
well,
I
and good on you for shining a light on health checks being
We just all
important,
should thank
especially
Mike.
as a man.
All right.
Good
I
job,
appreciate
Mike.
it.
Good job, Mike.
appreciate it.
Thanks
Thank-
for
Way to be a
providing the
hero.
Well
service.
done.
Yep.
Thank you for your service.
Marine.
Not all heroes wear
look,
capes.
I look forward to telling you all about it next a week from Tuesday.
I'm okay.
You can skip that one, Evan.
Yeah.
Hang on to this cold for a little while.
Jacket in Abba says, I had my colonoscopy when I was 50. When they wheeled me into the operating theater, there was a
Theater.
small army of doctors and nurses fussing around. The gastroenterologist on my right was playing music. I asked him whether he preferred Roy Buchanan or Buddy Guy. He said Buddy Guy and immediately switched the music to Buddy Guy. I looked to my left at the anesthesiologist, who was a young woman sitting among what looked like a tangle of bags and tubes. I said, what looks like industrial grade? That looks like industrial grade narcotics. She nodded wryly. And then, with Buddy Guy's blues wailing gently in the background, I was out like a light.
Wailing gently.
Sounds like AI wrote that.
I was waiting for someone to have like a cigarette.
Oh, yeah,
We were like waiting to
afterwards.
go under.
That's
Everyone's got a
Colonoscopy story.
I'm
yeah.
okay.
That's off-season
Yeah.
talk, baby.
Yeah.
Evan, you're gonna have to confront this not too distant future. You know, you better
No.
start thinking about it.
I
I know
don't
your
need
family
to-
has a
You
history of
should,
health
like,
Not as
issues.
young as you
35,
think you
you
are.
should.
I don't need to talk about it publicly, though. All right, I'm not going
All the
Nothing to be
Jersey,
ashamed of.
Mikes you eat, all those nitrates, you
Yeah.
should look
Yeah.
into it.
Haven't you already like resigned
sure
yourself so you're not making it like past 60?
Saying, all those
though?
cold
Oh,
cuts.
yeah. I mean, like, yeah,
Evan's days are
it's
numbered.
not, you know.
So when you get
Your
yours,
turkey
you should go in and
sandwich
say,
every
do
day."
it Mike's way.
yeah,
You really cracked Alex up on that one.
It's with the oil, the red wine vinegar. You know, they get like the bottles and shake it.
I'm not.
She's dying. We've lost Alex.
Yeah.
None of the Italian seasoning though. We don't need that in
Fred
there.
is so funny today.
Speaking of Italian, Paul's going to Italy.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to Florence and Rome.
to the
Yeah.
mother country.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Going to the motherland
I'm
for
so
the first
excited
time.
Going
about
on
your
Pearlo
food.
tours.
I'm not going on Perlos.
Are you gonna go see where your ancestors lived?
I am not.
Do you know?
Do you know where your
They're from,
ancestors?
they're from Avellino, but we're not going to be in that part of the country.
I feel like that's where
Disappointing.
It is.
the Sopranos are.
It is. I didn't make that up. I went home and asked
Yeah.
after we'd had this conversation the last,
Wait. You're from Avellino.
which is with the
Where
Sopranos.
Tony
Yeah,
Soprano's
so
family's
you-
from.
Oh,
Okay, so we know now. It's good.
Okay. Again, it's just okay to make fun of Italians. Call them
Mozzarella.
all. Call them all criminals.
I didn't call you a criminal.
Ah, you insulted them a little bit.
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
I didn't call
Just
him a
take your shoe
criminal.
shine and go home.
Everybody's telling me to go
Let's
home.
see. Jadarius writes in.
John Darius?
First time emailer, long time listener.
Darius
Thank you.
Morgan? I just
I was
hyped
going
him
to say,
up.
wasn't one of the guys you just talked about? Is this him?
Yeah.
I was wondering, as of right now, which players would you predict will be the kickoff returners once the
You.
season begins?
Ooh, that's
He's got some athleticism. Maybe,
Oh, I was going to say, what position does he
He plays guard. He plays guard.
Hey, could it be a guard named John Darius?
Whoever is the third running back,
Yeah.
and one of the sixth receiver, whichever ones of those.
Could that be a Lan Larison versus Jam Miller?
So I
versus
did ask.
Terrell
battle?
Jennings
Terrell
versus
Jennings.
Miles Montgomery?
Yeah.
I did an
It's a
interview with
four-way.
Mobile, Alabama this morning.
Nice.
And the last subject that we brought up was Jam Miller, and I said there is definitely an opportunity because they're going to need a third running back, and in particular, if he has kick return skills, they didn't think that would be a great fit. Now these are random guys, and I don't know.
He did not
I
return.
don't know if they have, what their bona fides are.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did
Or
not
as Fred- or
return
as Eric would say, the bona
kickoffs.
fides.
Bonafides.
Wait,
in
why were
college.
you talking about Jam Miller? I thought Jam Miller was my guy.
No. I was doing an interview with a radio station in Alabama today, and at the end, they brought up Jam Miller
I gotcha.
as an
I see.
Alabama guy the
Thank you.
Patriots
I got
drafted.
you.
And
I was getting worried there for a second. We were
no,
doubling up
no,
on
no,
Jam.
I don't do more than I need to do before
Double
vacation,
profiles.
guy.
Dustin writes in, super pumped for mini camps to start. Means we're getting closer. The only pick in the draft I had questions about was the Jam Miller pick. Why on earth would we waste a pick when we have the
Lan
the
Larson.
something RB3 Lan Larison ready to bounce
Oh,
back?
here goes Evan.
I also really like the Raritan pick for tight end because, let's be real, when has Notre Dame really ever produced a bad tight end? And finally, Fred, I'm with you. I share my wings with my dog all the time. She's a tank, honestly. Just past week, we shared an Italian beef. They only live a fraction of our lives, so why not let them enjoy real food?
Because then
Get that dog a
they'll live
colonoscopy.
Because then that fraction becomes smaller, I guess.
Yeah. What was his actual
Notre Dame
football
does have a
position?
good tight end tradition.
For the most part, yeah. At least guys making it to the NFL for sure. Jam Miller, I think we all kind of projected that they would be kicking the tires on a running back late in the draft. The third running back spot, as much as I love Lan Larison, is not solidified by any means behind Stevenson and Henderson. So I think a lot of the prognosticators, as they say, had 6th round, 7th round running back flyers to add to the pot there to compete for the third running back
Yeah.
spot. So I wasn't that surprised
nowadays
by
you
it.
get good value in running back later in the draft because nobody takes them high.
Well, it was a bad running back draft.
Yeah.
Besides the 2 Notre Dame kids. So, but yeah, I think that a lot of us had talked a lot about Adam Randall in the pre-draft process. He went a little earlier, so they ended up with Jam Miller.
And Paul was wondering which Brady Bunch episode had the quicksand. It was the Tiger episode. It was season 1, episode 18. The Bradys go on a camping trip, and while there, they encounter a situation involving quicksand. The episode is part of the series that aired from 69 to 74, and it features various family-related challenges. Oh, that's
sounds like
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But it was season 1, episode 18.
All right. I don't necessarily recall. I do remember when they went camping because all the boys were really upset that the girls had to come, and Mike made a big thing out of it to say, like, we'll do things as a family now.
Yeah.
And they tried to scare. They were really annoyed. So Marsha and Jan went out and they had the bear that they cut out and they put the flashlight
Oh, okay. Now
on the outside of the tent.
Yeah.
And Bobby wakes up. He's like, "Dad, a bear!" And they thought they would be. And then it's like all the tents collapsed and everything.
Chaos ensues.
Yes.
Those Brady's, they're always
Hilarity
getting
ensues.
into it.
I don't recall, however, I could tell you all the dialogue, but I don't recall the quicksand.
Yeah.
So corny.
Did they jump the shark when Oliver was on?
Yes.
Oh, man.
That was maybe the original
He's so upset.
jumping of the shark.
Yeah.
Was Cousin Oliver.
No, the original was Fonzie. jumping the shark.
This happened first.
Yeah, okay, but
So, therefore, the original.
no, but the term "jumping the shark" came from Happy.
I know, but this may
This
be
could
the
have been-
original.
You think that? Yeah,
Yeah,
there might have been other.
I'm sure there were. Someone
could-
said like Father Knows Best had one, but I didn't.
I think
I'm not
Lucy
old enough
jumped
for
the
that.
shark too, because there was like 4 iterations of the Lucy show,
Oh yeah.
and
yeah.
I think at one point they jumped the shark.
But the Brady Bunch the very early ones were not as strong. Once they got once Marsha got a little older, they were much
Oh,
more
God.
worth watching.
Oh, why is that?
Careful.
Because she's hot.
Uh-oh.
Sure, Jan.
I miss TV Land.
Marsha Brady, for like kids my age,
Was it Smoke?
Yes, she was
She was a
throwing,
rocket.
She was a dime.
throwing high heat.
I do like Rocket.
I don't think kids today.
TJ,
Rocket is, I think, like a
we'll call
hockey
her
guy
a missile.
term. They call women rockets.
Missile. We'll
A
call her.
missile?
She's a missile.
Oh.
That's a new one. I didn't know that one.
I think in terms of like family shows, like G-rated primetime shows, I don't think kids today had what we have.
we had
yeah.
Modern
And-
Family.
That's not G-rated.
A little, yeah.
I guess
that
you're
was
not.
A little
There were some
racy.
innuendos.
Yeah.
You're
A
right.
little
Yeah.
racy.
It was good,
yeah.
though.
And
Like-
Evan's right.
It was
like,
fun.
Like 2.5 Men,
oh,
Modern
2.5
Family.
Men
We had
is
Full
way
House.
over the top.
I
Well, I
know,
guess
but
Full
like
House was
Full
kind
House
of
would have been that.
before, but we got
Yeah.
all the reruns.
I bet
you know,
talk about a Rocket.
Oh, I love that.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I was never a huge fan.
that's
her daughter is like her clone. It's crazy.
Full House is a good one. Full House.
The one that got paid for
Boy
to
Meets
go to
World.
USC.
That was like a Friday night
Boy
thing,
Meets
right?
World, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy Meets World, Topanga.
Also
She was
around.
I never
legit.
watched
But
that.
there's very few shows now that, like, even the shows that were aimed for adults back then.
What's
were
the one
wholesome.
with Steve
Yeah.
Urkel
Like, there's-
again?
like everyone seems
No,
now-
Evan's
Family
right. He
Matters.
says it was so
Family
corny.
Family Matters. I love that
Sitcoms
show.
of that day and
They were
age were
corny.
very corny.
Fresh Prince.
nobody wanted to.
But
like,
Brady Bunch was a good show. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
for the
Every-
time.
Everybody wants to push the envelope now. They don't think it's good content unless you're pushing the envelope.
Right.
Back then, it was let's be
Wholesome.
as vanilla as possible.
Well, don't you think back then that you had TV, everyone would gather and watch TV together? Do families
There were
still
only
really
3
do
shows
that?
on it,
Right. Like,
right.
do families still get together to watch a TV show anymore? And I mean, even
No
to
one does.
stream
No.
something? Like,
no one,
it's just
no
not,
one, even, yeah, no one
it's
watches
not
TV
really
as a family
a
anymore.
centerpiece of the, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, I think I'm starting to lose my mind. There are times when you just look around and you're like, we're all just sitting here scrolling and the TV's on
Yeah.
and no one's watching the TV and we're all just in our own little worlds. And I just like, I have to like put it down and walk away. It's like starting to get on my nerves. Like, not saying anything about like, just generally, like, I'm like, what are we doing right here? Like, we're all in our own little world. But if by the same thing, if we were all sitting here reading books and it was the 1800s, would that be as bad? I don't know. Like, that's where I ponder these
That
things.
would be okay,
sometimes.
though.
Right,
'cause you're
that would be
reading.
okay.
a lot
Right,
about
like,
this.
Well, you're
you know
not
what I mean?
melting your brain cells.
Yours is deep.
Yeah.
I think I hear what he's saying. But like for us, that's sports.
Yeah.
Like you know, if like the Bruins or the Celtics are on, there's like we're not in our own worlds. We're glued into the game.
Yeah.
But if we're watching like,
Well, if the Bruins are on, I am. The Celtics are on. You to wait for the last 5 minutes, like everybody else that
God,
watches.
you sound like
NBA
my
games.
wife.
Make the freeze. They
Yeah,
win.
no, I mean like, but if
know I
we're
like
watching,
Jess.
if we're watching, you know, some, you know, Below Deck or whatever stupid show we're watching, then yeah, we're both scrolling.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like that's why I like, you know, sports so much is because it's still, is something that like unifies people. You know,
I mean,
the ultimate reality TV.
I mean,
Yeah.
my family, we don't watch sports together. You know, like they're not interested.
You
in
don't
watching
allow
sports.
that?
Well, I
As
would
the
allow
man,
it.
As the
I
man
like
of the
to
house,
watch
you don't
it.
allow anybody
But
to
is there
watch
any
sports?
show you guys watch together?
I mean, my wife and I, and sometimes we'll have to convince everybody to like watch a movie
Yeah.
and be like, all right, we're watching a movie tonight, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't, it's very rare.
I didn't have a lot of it. My wife and I
Yeah.
watch a lot of TV together, but the kids have, even when they were younger, they didn't watch a lot of TV.
I mean, somebody brought
Together,
up
all four of
like
us.
Full House. I forget what they called it on the station, but there was the lineup on, I think it was Family Matters, Full
Oh.
House. So there was had a name for it, but I
Nick at
remember
Night?
Like the TGIF?
that. Maybe that was what it was. I forget, maybe, but
On ABC
Must-see
Family?
TV
But I
on
remember like my
Thursday.
Well,
sisters
that's
watching
NBC
those, and
then.
I would
He's-
watch Full
I think
House,
he's talking
and
about-
we'd all kind of watch that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
But that doesn't exist.
The
anymore.
wholesome Friday night shows?
Yeah.
Like, what was the Melissa Joan Hart there?
Sabrina the
the
Teenage
Teenage
Witch.
Witch, I
Sabrina.
think, was part of that.
Yeah.
Maybe Urkel might have been part of that.
Yeah, Family Matters.
Family Matters.
Yep.
On my dad's day, we would always watch like the 8 o'clock Disney Channel original movie. Like me,
Cadet
my
Kelly.
siblings, and my dad. Yeah, Cadet Kelly, Brink, like all those. That's the last time I can really
Johnny
remember.
Tsunami.
Yeah,
I could keep
We
going.
finally found something other than sports that Evan was familiar with.
Disney Channel original
Disney
movies.
Channel original
I mean,
movies.
Brink is
Yeah, it was
classic.
Well, I
TGIF.
think
probably.
back in that day there was this. Oh, people are spending too much time watching TV, and now it's people are spending too much time on their phones.
Yeah.
I know, and
You
it's that's why I guess I was pondering is like, is there a difference? I mean, I did see like a recent scientific study saying that the short form video just destroys your ability to pay attention to anything. It, you know,
I think
Yeah.
it does.
you know,
I think it does. You're on to the next thing really
Yeah.
quickly.
you know.
Yeah. There's no absorption. There's no focus. Yeah.
I do find that
Your
with-
brain activity too. I saw a study where whatever they do to measure brain activity, but when you're just scrolling like that, your brain activity is the same as if you're just sleeping with short form video.
That's good, right?
That's
Evan,
that's
how are
the
those
most
short form
Alex
videos?
said in the show.
I
Your brain
think it's
activity is the same as just sleeping.
That's what I'm trying to do, though. I'm trying to relax. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
disconnect.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
No,
I'm
and
not-
that's fair. That's
by
why like I
connecting
don't.
somehow. I don't know. That's
Yeah, but and I don't want to
counterintuitive,
say
but-
like this is the devil because I feel like TV was the devil and video games were the devil and you know
This
it's,
does
everything
seem. I
is-
mean, I know that we're old. Fred and I, you know, and it just seems this is worse for you.
Yeah.
It probably isn't, but it does seem like the social media stuff and all the documentaries that you watch. It seems like this is more destructive
yeah.
than
Like-
it was. But
Well, I
I'm sure they thought the
I
same
think
thing
there's-
about the TV.
I think there's
yeah.
a lot of countries in the world would love to see the demise of our country, and they're hoping that
that this is
this
what's
stuff-
going to cause it.
Yeah, and they might
Well,
be right.
In China, their TikTok algorithm for kids, it's like science experiments
Right.
and intellectual
For
stuff.
us, it's
For us,
different.
it's trash.
That's
you
right.
know?
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Makes you think.
I like YouTube. I'm kind of like a little addicted on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What do you watch on
I-
YouTube?
see, I
all
like-
kinds of different stuff.
I like that, though, because I feel like YouTube, you're like searching out
Learning
videos
stuff?
and
Yeah.
kind of like learning
Yeah.
things.
So
Whereas,
there was this podcast, and I started watching it, and so I'm watching it on YouTube, and on the podcast, it's like download this app called Riverside if you really want to get involved in the show. And I thought, oh, that might be a great experience. So I download the app and I click in, and all of a sudden, like I'm on the show. And here I am in bed, lying with no shirt on. Like I'm like, oh crap! Like I'm hitting like, no camera, no camera, no camera.
It's like he hit on the pop-up
Right.
porn ad by accident. Like,
Yeah. Like all of a sudden, like I'm on the show.
It's like
and,
chat
and
roulette,
they're like,
right.
okay, Fred, you're with us, and I'm like I'm not saying anything.
Oh,
And he's
that's
like,
so
Fred,
funny.
come on. And like,
They didn't give you a warning?
no.
Oh, no.
Then it's like, all right, get yourself together, and you can come back. Like meanwhile, I'm like, I didn't want to be there in the first place.
you don't want to be on the
Yeah.
show.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh,
you got
like I'm literally in
That's
bed with my
hilarious.
shirt off.
That's hilarious. But you were watching a podcast on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the pendulum's kind of swinging the other way where people are like craving more long form content again.
I hope
I
so.
don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
that's
me.
true.
Good for us.
Yep, that's true.
Like, you
No.
like just looking at like the YouTube numbers of how many people set up YouTube to their TVs and stuff. That
Yeah.
you're not watching.
Oh, like
short-form
Fortune
stuff
Phosphor,
on-
over 50% of the people
Yeah.
that watched on YouTube watched on their TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm obsessed with on YouTube that I've been getting fed are like these like AI things of they would show like ancient Rome from scratch or Las Vegas from scratch, and they just kind of a time lapse of like a desert, and then you slowly see how it all came together. I like that kind of stuff on YouTube. Like I don't know, it
pick
feels a
your
little
place.
different to me. Like YouTube doesn't quite feel as like
That's nice.
TikTok-y, Instagram, you know, Reels, all that stuff.
No, YouTube can be, it's a
can.
really good tool
There's so much there too.
Like I was downstairs, I had to restart my furnace, and the manual wasn't helping me. I go on YouTube, restart,
Boom.
Well McLean Ultra, boom.
Yep.
Like first thing that comes up.
It's awesome.
A little video, 2 minutes.
Yep.
I'm up and
Anything you
running.
want
I
to know how
love
to
the
do.
the chefs I follow on YouTube. I feel like I've become such a great cook just watching and learning
Humble
from
brag.
them too. It is a humble.
You
brag.
got your knives. You got like sharp knives, like
those Japanese ones.
yeah.
Oh, and then you start getting the ads for knives.
Yeah, and then they're plugging like hex-clad pans
Right,
and this
that's right.
apron.
That's okay.
and-
That drives
yeah.
me crazy.
That
I know.
drives me like you can't even like be
But
like,
you know
wait, what is
what?
that real quick? And then you're getting fed that forever.
You buy one
There's some
thing and
chefs
you're
that I'm like,
screwed.
you know what? Good for you. Get your bag. Like you've taught me enough. I'll sit through this ad.
Yeah. It's
I don't get any of that.
ball. It's
Chris
just
with a
film.
TIAN writes
Yeah.
in about the Brady Bunch. Oliver was the worst. Marsha was a smoke show. A Very Brady Christmas aired in 1998. It's an all-timer.
I enjoyed the Brady Bunch movie too when that came out. As a kid who was watched a lot of Brady Bunch, when that movie came out, I thought they really did a good job of
So the
staying true to the series, but
the
also
first
kind of making
movie
fun of it.
Was yes, it was a spoof,
Yeah.
and it was kind of funny.
They're set in modern day.
Just poured it in a
America.
different cup.
You don't have any Dunkin' cups.
Oh no.
What did you say?
I don't know that.
Evan just noticed my cup.
She does that, she does
I
that
do that
every
every
show.
show.
Should have gaff it up.
Gaffer-
So I want to
gaffer
ask
tape.
Evan and Alex if they've ever heard any of these shows.
Okay.
Jack in Ann Arbor writes, these are the wholesome shows that
Okay.
he used to watch.
Okay.
I
You
watched
ever
a lot
watch
of
My
TV.
Three Sons?
No.
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 I don't know what that is.
Oh, I
Saw a show that used to be on Channel 38 a lot.
I feel like I watched
Wow,
a lot of
ESPN?
TV Land
I
with
didn't
my
watch
watched it when it
grandparents.
first was out.
I didn't watch
religiously.
the originals. I
Yeah.
watched
Okay.
the syndication.
No.
Fred McMurray had 3 sons. He was a single dad. His wife had died, and it's him
That's-
bringing up his 3 sons.
That's
And Uncle
too bad.
Charlie.
Uncle Charlie, right?
So
William
it's, like,
Demarest.
so it's Full,
Full
House.
House with boys instead of girls.
right.
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty much.
So everything
Then they got
repeats
girls.
itself.
Uncle
'cause it was-
Jesse.
Father Knows Best. You
I've
ever
heard
watch-
of
I've
that.
heard
I've
of
never
it.
seen it.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
So
If I
I
could
went.
jump in with the kids.
Robert
No.
Young was the
He's over there.
lead character. I went to college at Emerson with his grandson, and he had his Emmy that he had won. He
Flex.
showed
Cool.
me, which
Oh,
was pretty
geez.
cool.
He's just
Flex.
carrying it around Emerson with him. And
The
all
Donna
that.
Reed
brag.
show.
No.
Never heard of it.
When they
No.
talk about smoke show.
Who's
Donna
that?
Reed.
I've never seen the Donna Reed show.
So you ever see It's a Wonderful
her up.
Life?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of the movie.
Yeah.
You've never seen It's a Wonderful
Jewish.
Life?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah he saw
It's still a
Menorahs
wonderful
for
life,
Everyone.
Evan.
I saw Schindler's List.
Ah,
You got me back with that one.
Donna Reed would like still be pretty today.
yeah. Donna Reed.
Who, Donna Reed? was-
Yeah.
Donna Reed was the
Yeah.
wife in,
Yeah.
in It's a
It's a
Wonderful,
Wonderful
Life.
Life.
Stunning.
Yeah.
But
Very pretty.
yeah,
Black
she
and
was-
white, though.
She
You
was very
can't tell.
pretty.
You can tell. You can tell.
Leave It to Beaver.
I
Yeah.
know.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I watched
Yeah.
some of
I
the beef.
know that
Leave It to
Yeah.
Beaver.
Definitely.
All-time classic.
Got a little beef.
Dobie Gillis.
No.
No,
don't
I know
what
the
that
show,
is.
but I never
Yeah.
watched it.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
No.
I've
Yeah,
heard of
they-
that.
Barbara Eden.
Speaking of smoke shows.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, she did the head bob thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gilligan's
that's
Island?
That's a meme.
Yeah.
Oh,
I watched
love,
a lot of
I love
Gilligan's
Gilligan's
Island.
Gilligan's
Island.
Was that
Great.
tied to Brady Bunch? I feel like I would back
Oh,
to
yeah.
back those.
Channel 56.
Back to back on
syndication
TV Land,
now.
I think.
Yep.
All in the Family, everyone's seen
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least one
Yeah.
episode, right?
Yeah.
Green Acres.
No.
No.
I've heard of it,
I
never
wasn't
saw
crazy
it.
I
about
saw
it, but
Green
I saw a
Acres,
lot
never
of them.
really loved it.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's another one I didn't
Familiar.
know.
Mumbling.
Yep.
Hooterville Junction?
What about Petticoat Junction?
Never heard of that.
No.
I know of it, but never
don't know
saw
what
it.
Two
that
more.
is.
My Favorite Martian.
Never saw it.
No.
I don't know
No?
what that
Roy
is.
Walston.
No.
That's Mr. Hond, I believe.
Yes,
Oh.
that's correct. That's correct. And what's his face who played the Incredible Hulk? Bill Bixby was the.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The son.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And Addams Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they have the movie remake.
Ba-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Remember?
I didn't love the Addams
Munsters?
family. I like the Munsters.
I
remember
better
the
than
Munsters
Addams-
better,
better
too.
than the
Yeah.
Addams family.
Yeah. Addams
never
Family
saw it?
to me was,
It was
more
slow
grown up.
and-
It was more grown up than Munsters.
Mature audiences. Monster Family.
Yeah.
No.
This
Paul,
is
did you
basically-
see Friday's Your Friends and Neighbors yet?
I can't remember now. Oh, I think so. I think I did, but now I can't remember.
That show, and I
Is
don't
it
know if
good?
anyone's
Like,
watching
the
Paradise.
most recent one. I've been watching it, but I don't know if we saw the most recent one. That's
Yeah.
the only difference.
That show and Paradise are like the first two shows I've really gotten into in a long time.
Paradise, the second season was.
I haven't
really-
started yet. I
Oh,
finished
okay.
season
It was a
one
really slow
last
start,
night.
but it gets better.
Finished
just-
season one last
Is
night.
Paradise a reality show?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. You
I don't
would
do
really
reality
you
TV.
Paradise is a Fred Kerr show.
Oh, is
You
that
would
right?
You'd
really
like it. It's excellent.
Okay.
You would really like
I like
Paradise.
excellent things.
It's post-apocalyptic
Oh,
meets
I'm listening.
like government corruption,
yeah.
conspiracy. It's
Yeah,
really good.
No, not for you.
Not the
Okay.
misses.
Doesn't
ain't
have
gonna
football
like
in
that,
it.
no.
Not for Evan.
It's post-apocalyptic, makes it
not
seem,
sci-fi-y.
Yeah, it makes it seem a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an accurate description, but it's not
So it's like
you-
Seattle.
it's not traditional post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It's like Haymarket on Saturday morning.
855 PATS 500 is the hotline.
House of Cards meets like
So,
Park Street at
I
3
don't
a.m.
know.
let's go to line 2. Mike claims he's Saba's husband. Let's go to
Hey, guys.
So you're Saba's husband?
Nice.
I am. I'm Saba's husband. I'm the well. I guess Drake May's probably a bigger reason, but I'm one of the reasons she got turned on your show, and she's becoming a big fan of the Patriots.
Nice.
Are you a Patriots
Uh,
fan?
Oh yeah, I grew up in Massachusetts. Actually, I'm actually a general surgeon. I trained at UMass Worcester.
Okay.
Oh, hey,
All right.
Shout out Worcester.
Yeah,
All right. Sounds
yeah.
good.
Shout out to Worcester. I've
What
lived
do
there
you
for many, many
surgery?
years. General surgery.
General.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
So-
Yeah.
colonoscopies.
So that's why you guys were talking about colonoscopies. I'm
Achilles
on
tendons?
Say,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah. Some of the saddest cases I had. I don't want to kind of drag the show down, right? Were people that did not get their colonoscopies at 50.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
a couple of patients like in their 50s, low 50s, 52, 53.
Yeah, you're up to your
had
elbows
pretty
there.
severe colon cancer.
Yep.
And they just, if they had just gotten their colonoscopies at 50, they'd be still alive today. So,
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't scare me,
I
Mike.
thought
Yeah, that's
So-
scary.
So what do you think?
Evan, you hear that?
I'm only
Bigger
33.
picture, though, when it comes to the Patriots, my big become a Patriots fan moment was Drew Bledsoe, 70 passes, Minnesota Vikings. I sat in awe watching that game. I'm sure Paul can relate to that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was
That
at
was
that game.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were at that game? Wow.
Oh yeah, I was in the press box.
That's
for
when I
that game.
was sitting in my kitchen, my parents' house, obviously. I was kind of young at that time. And just watching that game and being like, this is awesome. This guy is awesome. I am going to watch every game I can watch of this guy.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yep.
So
So yeah, so after that call, I got a double whammy. I said I'm Mr. Sabah, and living in North
Mr.
Carolina now.
Sabah.
Of course, what happens to Patriots? I mean, I'm a big fan. Moved away in 2000 down to North Carolina, and that's of course what happened. That's when they started winning Super Bowls.
there you go.
Oh well.
Yep. But that's
Thank
okay.
you for your service.
Yep. You got bragging
Appreciate
rights
it.
down there. Thank you very much.
I love that.
And say hello to Sabah. All right, let's go to line 4. Arthur's in New York. What's up, Arthur?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's actually my first time calling in 2 years. The last time I called was before the 2024 draft, and I basically begged for Jaden Daniels. I was thinking this guy was going to be the best quarterback, not only in that draft, which was a stacked quarterback draft, but basically the best quarterback who came out since Andrew Luck. I was in love with the guy, and I called in begging, hoping that Elliott Wolf would be listening to the program and draft the guy. But obviously Daniels goes second, May goes 3, and rookie year happens. A year ago, I'm thinking, should I call back and take a victory lap? Because Paul was saying
Sure.
how Drake May was better. Evan was telling me how Drake May was better. And then Jaden Daniels goes to the NFC Championship game and has one of the best rookie years of all time. And I'm like, you know what? Should I call these Pats guys back and really take my victory lap and brag about how right I was? And I didn't. I said, you know what? Move on. I was right. Jaden Daniels is so much better than Drake May. These guys didn't know what they're talking about. Then a year later, I'm now not calling back to not only not even brag, but to actually apologize, because I was laughing at Paul when Paul said Drake May was going to be more accurate than Jaden Daniels. I was laughing at him, and now not only is he more accurate, but he's the most accurate quarterback in NFL history. And Evan, I was saying, what are you talking? You're overhyping the tools. You got to watch the tape. The tape matters. Why are you looking at the tools? Oh, he's athletic. He was, I get Daniels had, neighbors and BTJ. He had the better weapons. I get all your points, but watch the tape. It's not close. But you know what? This year we saw all those tools came to fruition. So I guess you guys were right about it. But my question is, based off all that, who is a player that at first you thought was going to be like an absolute superstar, and you can't use Aaron Hernandez for this, first couple years of their career? That was me for Jaden Daniels. And then kind of had that fall from grace where you're like, oh, what a great.
I mean,
But
Jaden
after
Daniels
1
might
year-
still be great.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
is the book closed on Jaden
I would just say,
Daniels? No, I don't think so.
You just like you weren't right 2 years ago, you're not wrong this year. Like Jaden Daniels had a really good rookie year. He had an injury-plagued second season. Who knows? I mean, I think he's still.
Yeah.
I think he shows all the signs
think
of being
he's
a really
great.
good player.
He's still a good
I like
player.
Drake May. I liked him in college better, but I don't think that Jaden Daniels stinks.
Yeah, I think the whole conversation
You're not
around
done.
that was about Jaden Daniels being an older prospect compared to Drake May. And Jaden Daniels was 24, 25 when he came out of college. Drake was only 21. So the idea was in 2 to 3 years, who's going to be the better quarterback? You know, right away, I was not surprised that Jaden Daniels was a better rookie than Drake May, but I kind of expected Drake May to eventually pass Jaden Daniels. But if Jaden Daniels had been healthy last year, then maybe he would have been just as good as he was his rookie year.
Right. So let's think of some guys that initially were really good that sort of fell off.
I can't really think of a ton
Or
that,
that you
aren't.
thought was going to be really good.
I can't really think of a ton that aren't related to injuries. Like
Robert Griffin.
Right,
III.
RG3, obviously,
Yeah.
when we
Right,
talk about
yeah.
Jaden Daniels comes to mind, but that was injury related that he fell off. So I don't know if there's a lot of guys that like broke out early and then just stunk, like just on the field were just bad.
Well, not even that they broke out, but guys that
But that's
you
what
thought.
he's looking for.
I thought he said guys that you thought were going to be really good that just weren't.
Oh, I
No.
mean, there's a million
There's
of
a
those.
yeah. I mean, I'm wrong in the draft all the time.
Yeah,
Tim Tebow.
maybe a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I think history, we could see how good Tebow actually was.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of winning.
But there are guys that initially look like they show promise, and then they felt like he said you can't use Aaron Hernandez. Like it initially showed promise, and obviously,
I mean,
for
do
other
we-
reasons,
Do we consider Mac showing promise in 2021?
you could.
Just asking the
I'll
question.
tell you a guy who.
Because he showed promise.
I'll tell you a
Paul.
guy who came out. Everyone thought was going to be, Hall of Fame, and he was okay, but he never lived up to it. Was Andrew Luck.
Yeah, but that's another one with injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
I mean, I would
circumstances.
say talent-wise, Andrew Luck lived up to it.
Talent-wise, he was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he never had the career people thought he would.
because he quit.
Yeah.
Because he,
Oh, I
because he
said that
kept getting
before
hurt.
Paul got me in trouble. Don't say that.
I'm sorry. He retired because of injuries, and he
Yeah.
was tired
Don't
of
say
the
that. They don't
pounding that
like
his
that.
body was taking. I'm not.
Don't
I'm
say
not.
quit.
That's not. I'm not saying that as a negative. That's what he did.
I know.
But I think
I know.
if he had played 5 more years, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I mean, talent, there's no doubt he hit talent-wise.
Yes.
I mean, they went from like a 2 or 3 win team to a playoff team in his rookie season. They completely turned
And then
the program around.
the first 3 years, he not only was a playoff team, he went a step further every year in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was a great player.
He couldn't beat Brady, but there are a lot of guys in that group.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I think that normally it's like an Andrew Luck or it's an RG3 or it's a situation where
It's always an
injury or
What about-
circumstance.
Well, let's cross sports. What about the year that Tatum was drafted 3? The 2 guys that were drafted ahead of him.
Fultz and Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Markelle Fultz never.
Markelle Fultz
Those
is
stunk.
Lonzo
Yeah.
Ball's an NBA player. Like he went on to have had a decent career, but not like Tatum, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Fultz never did anything.
Yep.
But I mean, most of his problems were off court. But
So I don't know. It's a good question.
I can't really think of anybody that's not injury related. I could think of like running backs that initially
Sure.
shot out of the,
Robert Weathers.
that's actually who I was. I'm Robert Edwards.
Oh, sorry. Jeez.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of him.
yeah.
Just the
But he ripped
pull
up
on
his
the
knee.
body or
Well,
whatever.
he ripped up his knee in a beach
Yeah.
volleyball or a beach flag football
Yeah.
game at the Pro Bowl.
ripped it up.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of guys that it wasn't circumstantial. Like it was just
Right.
they
He just wasn't good.
That's why
And
I
there
say that's
probably
why
are
Matt,
no, but
that's
he's
why
talking
Matt
about they
comes to
were
mind.
good and then they fell
Yeah.
off out of nowhere.
But do
That-
you think
yeah.
you can-
Initially, they were good, and then 2 years into their career, all of a sudden, like if Jaden Daniels never
Right.
does this
He would be
again,
the guy.
he
Yeah.
would be one of those guys.
Right.
But do you think somewhat you skate on your early impression, like and you ever have a chance to make a first impression, like a second chance, like
CJ
guys
Stroud.
who you're kind of right,
My
you're
guy,
high on, but
Who's-
That's a
people
good
are
one.
killing me for CJ Stroud. He
Yeah.
would be in that.
But you always kind of give somebody credit for the first couple years if they were great, and then I don't know. It's hard to really like say he sucked in the year 3 on. Like I think you always look at them as that player you initially
Yeah.
thought they were, and
Yeah,
maybe
I think
easier
Russell
to think
Wilson
about.
has a little of that. It's like he's been bad for a while now.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
a good-
just
I
and
like
it's just
that. That's a
now
good one.
that people have said, "Well, he's done," but he was good for a long time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that he
Yeah.
was a flash in the pan.
But I agree with the Stroud one's a good one.
Stroud
I
could
mean,
be.
but Stroud is on.
Stroud's on watch.
Yeah.
Stroud is on a similar. If Jaden Daniels could have a similar,
Yeah.
sort of arc here, because Stroud, had a great rookie year and then has not really been able to recapture. that.
Lou in Philly says Eddie Lacy, great start, then completely fell off and got fat.
Yeah,
Eddie Lacy,
There's
yeah.
probably a few running backs.
There's got to be running backs.
But that's like more about like they were overused in college and then they have a short shelf life.
Todd Gurley.
Yeah. Todd Gurley is a good one. But like Todd Gurley, again, same thing, was like, when you get that many carries at a young age, like only like Derrick Henry is like the one guy that's been able to just keep it going.
Yeah.
Good stuff. George in Maryland says, I'm with you, Deuce. Uniforms are definitely fashion. I thought I was the only one that paid extra attention to face masks. Back in the 86 season, I remember a feature that I think Bob Lobel did when he spoke with Fryer, Starring, and Morgan about their towels that the three of them wore, and their response was, if you look good, you play good. Also, the liquid you have to drink for your butt issue is absolutely awful.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's going to be Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Can't wait.
That's improved. That's not as bad as it once was.
Look
Serious.
good, play good. I agree, but does this carry over to your own personal sports experience? Because I felt like, especially in hockey, like I'm very fashion conscious in hockey, like the right gloves, the right skate to knee pad transition.
You're gonna make fun of me now.
The right helmet. Like I needed,
100%.
And there was like a certain combination. And super hockey nerds will know what I'm talking about. Like a CCM helmet with a Jofa face mask in the '90s was like. You could just walk into step onto the ice with that helmet combination on, which is totally random.
That dude can play.
CCM with Jofa, but they'd be like, that guy's really good.
So,
100%.
which of the four major sports in our country had the worst old uniforms, like back in the, like old uniforms? Like I'm thinking NBA when they wore the short shorts. And you look now with the
Cooperalls and the Hartford Whalers.
And how kind of
They're
bad
kind
that
of
was.
those they're like in between now. They're not doing the 90s long shorts anymore, but they're not short shorts anymore.
Yeah, like Jalen kind of likes the shorter.
Well, they all wear the spandex underneath it now too, so it hides it. But
not to
like,
see their gross
and
hair.
those are like, to me, those are kind of two different things. Like I'm thinking of like the style of uniforms, like the NBA uniforms in like the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the style, like the baggy. I don't have any problem with it. I mean, I don't really like it, but I understand that was what everybody was wearing. The Fab Five sort of brought all that stuff in, but think back to some of those uniforms. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the Utah Jazz, like
they're great uniforms.
Atlanta Hawks,
The Raptors.
Sixers.
Unbelievably bad uniforms.
I think the
across
Raptors
board.
are the sick ones.
You think they're bad?
I thought they were
Oh,
cool.
The 90s
The
uniforms
Utah
are
thing
great.
with like the mountains on the shirt.
You don't like that?
Oh,
That's awesome.
I think it's cool too.
Paul
my
went into that
God.
thinking we can all agree on this, right? And you guys were like,
wait.
no, we
I thought he
can't.
was going the other way. I was like, the
sometimes
Carmelo
these teams
Jazz?
like they wear like their
their
throwbacks, and they wear like the Buffalo Sabres.
Ooh,
That throwback,
that black
is
one, the black and red
hideous.
one. No,
What a hideous
yeah, that's
uniform.
gross. They brought it back.
So another
Maybe
one
it's
I'm
just
thinking about, like
nostalgia.
back in the old
Raptors
days,
one
like
with
Yeah.
the
in the
dinosaur in it.
1940s
Oh,
and 50s,
yes.
the old baseball uniform, those baggy
With like the
things.
stirrups and
I
stuff
kinda
too,
like
and it's
that.
baggy.
I think I like those old baggy uniforms. They
I
look
like,
comfortable.
I like stirrups too, and they don't wear them really anymore.
Baseball uniforms are so basic now.
do you gotta
It's
do
No, I was gonna laugh. I was
well,
thinking.
now they're like pants.
pants and a
Yeah.
button up.
No, I saw
Yeah,
like Phil Perry
boring.
playing in like a throwback baseball game like last year, and he had like the full old school get up on, and I thought it was
Phil
The
Perry
little
played in
cap.
the old timers
But
baseball.
don't you think that looks
Something like
comfortable?
that.
Yeah.
You know,
Loose and
Yeah.
breathable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
they
that was
were-
before
were
they
like
had
wool.
like moisture wicking
but
fabric
now you
too.
make them
Like
out
Yeah,
of
they
before
were,
Lululemon.
they were like wool. They were
shit.
they were heavy.
Right.
Yeah, but you could have the same style and make it in
Yeah.
today's fabrics.
Yeah, you'd make fun of me because I definitely was like you.
You liked it.
My
Do you
I had
have a
I
picture
had to
of you
be,
playing high school football? I'd like to see the look that you compiled and that you were so proud of. I want to
I
analyze
necessarily say I
it
was
for
proud of
myself.
it, but I had very particular things that I needed to
A certain
have
wristband in a place.
Well, I
or anything
had-
Did they
like that?
recreate your
that's good
style on
fighting.
your bobblehead?
done.
That was
Not
very
really.
No.
important.
The like we had red uniforms in football, and like they were like not quite. They weren't long sleeve, but they were
Yeah, I
like
remember
not
those.
short
Yeah.
sleeve either. They
Yep,
were like
yep,
here,
yep.
3/4.
and I wore a white shirt underneath it. That the white would stick out about this much.
just
had to be
this
that much.
Just
yeah.
a
It had-
taste.
was just
a
perfect.
little taste.
The red and the white I always thought looked good. And then I had a red jersey that I wore on the road because we had white shirts on the road. So like you couldn't wear white on
Are we
white.
dabbling? So this
No.
is still fashion. We're not dabbling in superstition, right? Like this is.
Oh,
Like,
it was
you know-
mostly superstition.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Okay, so not
Yeah,
styles.
like if
It's not how you look.
if I pitched, I had to wear a gray Miami Hurricane shirt underneath my uniform on the day that I pitched.
Oh,
That
oh.
shirt needed to be
The
clean.
U.
when I picked the U.
Ma,
When we
Ma,
played,
is my T-shirt clean?
It's like Will Campbell in his underwear.
Yeah.
when we played the University of Miami, I bought the shirt and I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm playing against a bunch of guys that are going to be in Major League Baseball in a few years, and there were about 5 or 6 of them.
That's cool.
And I bought that shirt and I wore that shirt underneath my uniform every time I pitched. I didn't have to wear it if I didn't pitch. But
Only on the.
What if they called you
only
in and
on
you
the day
didn't have
that
it
I
on
pitched.
though? What if they're going to the pen and you
then
don't
I
have it
got
on?
lit.
You're
Then
like,
I got lit up, Mike. Facts are facts.
That was the reason.
I'm not ready to
used to wear
pitch.
I love it.
the Kent State penny underneath his
oh,
pads.
Edelman, yeah.
And it was
Destroy-
like
tatters.
just disgusting.
Well, that's
Gross.
that
It must
Miami
just be,
Hurricanes
like, 4
jersey
threads
ended
now.
up
I didn't say you didn't even
never got thrown away. It just disappeared. It just disintegrated.
Yeah.
By the time I had worn it so much, it was just gone. There was
Yeah.
The only
nothing
thing I
left to it.
cared about was like Nike Elite socks. Remember
Yeah, oh,
for
yeah,
basketball,
of course.
like
Yeah.
Nike
No,
Elite socks.
You definitely. I mean, lacrosse especially, but
Yeah.
you play sports like that like it's swag is what it's all about. You
Yeah.
gotta look good, play good.
Yeah.
Like you got all sorts of different
Piece of
things going
pre-wrap
on.
as a headband.
If you
guys
didn't
don't
wear-
have to deal with that.
If you weren't
but
wearing mid
Oh,
calves, then
people
like
did
get
that.
out of here.
men though, not men. Like
People
the
did
girls.
both, but like they had like long hair. Kids,
Yeah.
kids that had long hair, they would put
Piece
a
of pre-wrap,
pre-wrap
best
just to
headband.
keep the
I actually
off their
bought
helmet.
pre-wrap 2 months ago because I was like, why did I stop doing this?
What's pre-wrap?
It's like
Kind of
Just-
foamy. You put it down
foamy
under the
what
wrap
you
tissue.
that
think
you
it
put
is.
underneath like an ace bandage or stuff.
tape.
Like
Oh,
it's
yeah, yeah,
medical.
So if you had
thing.
your
I know
ankles
it's-
taped,
yeah,
you put
yeah.
pre-wrap
It
so it
makes
doesn't stick
amazing
as much.
headbands because it doesn't move, so you don't have to be fixing your hair in the middle of
Does
your
it make
game.
your head
20
hot?
Not at all. It's
No?
really, it's like really porous.
Very breathable.
Yeah,
breathable.
I'll show you some. I'll bring it in. I'll bring it in sometime.
Okay.
Yeah.
My stirrups went through a lot of iterations too. In
Yeah,
high
yeah.
school, I wore them very high.
Yeah.
I'd have them like all the way up to the knee.
Classic.
And then sort of when I got to college, it kind of made a
Like
transition.
Manny Ramirez.
By the
like,
time I
just
started
dragging
college,
them
it was up to my knee. By the time I finished, I had like the pants were like maybe this much showing.
There's not even really.
I never
stirrups anymore.
like I never wore stirrups until 8th grade when I moved and you know everyone's putting on their stirrups and I couldn't figure out how to make them flat, so mine would like roll out and like flare out, you know, because it'd be too like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't get it. I never could get it right.
Yeah.
Mine always looked goofy.
Do you have like a
We're just
tennis
talking about baseball.
fit
I mean,
that
Fred, you
like
don't
to
care about
wear?
fashion, so
Socks.
what does it matter?
When I
Socks,
was
stirrups.
Like all white or
What is
do you?
that?
I had the head. I
Like,
was bored.
You wore like a
Yeah.
white
Oh yeah,
sanitary sock, and then you had a sock that had some color in it that had like a line, like a stirrup. Like you know what a stirrup is, like in a horse.
Nope.
You don't know what baseball stirrups are?
Never did that.
Really?
I never. Nope.
Well, did they still call them sanitary socks under the syrup?
Yeah,
when you wore
sanitary
them?
We
hose.
never.
Yeah.
I think we had. We did not do that. I mean, I didn't play baseball very long,
I don't know if
but
I have a lot of
My
pictures
guy
of
friends
myself playing. I'd like
Wore them in
I-
high school.
I
It's
had 'em.
these.
Yeah, those.
Yeah,
Never wore
that's
those.
That's a sanitary sock. That's
No.
a
Do
stirrup.
Do they have a purpose though? Because you said they're sanitary, so that implies that there is some kind of cleanliness. But aren't they just a style thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they were
I don't know
thinner
why.
than a
they were,
usual
They were
sock.
thin.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I had them in youth baseball and
Yeah.
in little
They were
league.
thinner, and
They were designed to create a classic look, show team colors, and provide a secure fit.
why wouldn't you just wear socks that are the same color? Why would
Right.
you wear two socks?
Right.
Well, the stirrup. I
Well,
don't know.
That's basically what it comes. What it
I think
went
we had
to was
maybe
the
grabbed it.
Originally
The
designed
sanitary
in
now
the
is in the
early
team
20th
color.
century
Yeah.
to
A lot.
prevent
Yeah.
skin infections from colored sock dyes.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, I didn't
old
play
school thing.
baseball beyond like
So
little
you,
league,
you
but
used
like,
to also like you would just wear one. And Fred's right; they were a lot thinner than a regular sock.
Mm-hmm.
So, like it was kind of thin, so it would get cold. So if I
Yeah.
wasn't pitching,
Oh yeah.
you should double up those babies. stay warm.
I remember like the 90s. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on this, but it felt like the 90s the stirrups started to go away. And
They did.
I remember Manny Ramirez had like just pant legs. Like
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
just dragging in the dirt. you
Yeah.
know?
They don't wear them. I don't know if how many people still wear them, but
It's always like
you
the
don't see them all.
No,
all
it's like
that
the second
much.
baseman. I feel like the second baseman's always still got like that kind of like high look, you know?
Yeah,
The
so
little,
but they'll go with the high look with the pants, but they'll have like a one solid color sanitary. They
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
a stirrup anymore.
yeah.
yeah, that I mean, this
sanitary
was all
stirrups.
already. By the time I was playing baseball,
Oh, yeah.
we had one sock. We
Just wear
didn't
pants
wear
and socks,
multiple
man.
socks or anything like
yeah,
that.
it's funny because over the years, like back in the day, guys wouldn't wear shorts, but they'd wear knickers. Like so, when you were golfing, like guys wouldn't wear pants or shorts, but they wore those knickers with the high socks.
Yeah.
You know, and then it started to evolve. You know, then
Not me.
in Jack Nicklaus time, it went to the Sansabelt pants. You know, like the stretchy pants.
Uh-huh.
Now you're not even really allowed to wear shorts on the golf course in some
courses.
Not supposed to,
yeah,
most-
like
No, that you,
yuppie
I mean,
ones.
no. Well, you can wear shorts like a regular guy, but like pros can't.
right.
Yeah. They can't or they just don't?
They can't.
They can't.
Oh, they're not allowed to?
No,
Why?
I don't know.
It's against the rules.
Weird.
No shorts.
Like,
What? Yeah.
no
like,
shorts in the club.
My big gripe too is like a lot of brands for women. There's not great golf clothes for girls. So a lot of brands are like pushing golf clothes, but you can't really wear them on most places because the shorts are so the skirts are so short and they don't have collars,
for a
like,
reason.
and they're really low cut. And
Can
it's
you
like
wear-
you're advertising this for golf, but it's like, did you even look up what you can actually wear on most golf courses? No.
Can you
It's
wear
annoying.
like tennis skirts golfing?
Yeah, but it depends on like the length, because like
Because that's what my nieces do.
A
When
lot
they golf,
of-
they wear tennis skirts.
I do too, but it's like it's got to be long enough, you know.
But I don't. We don't play at any like.
Well, all the women wear shorts under
restricted
their
clubs.
skirts now.
Yeah, they're mostly skirts,
Yeah.
so it's just built in.
Scorch
There's
your
some
back.
good brands now, but
Shorts, skorts.
it was a while. It was a
Two very different
10
things.
years
Mike.
ago. It
Mixing
was
it all
tough
up.
to find cute golf clothes, and that's the only thing. Like in terms of style and sports, like that's the only sport I care about. Like the
Golf,
fit.
the fit.
Really?
Yeah.
I was never into that. Like, I really could not care less what I looked like when I was playing. You know,
Wow.
I'm being good.
whatever they gave
I
me.
let that go.
Well, the way you played, who cared anyway?
No, I was going with the way. I'm being good. I'm being
No,
good.
but like whatever they gave me, that's what I wore. You know, like, yeah.
It's nice not to care. Yeah. I wish I like
You had to
You
care.
start to-
I
Oh,
was
God,
jealous
you
of the
get-
tennis girls in high school. I always wanted to play tennis, and then I saw their uniforms. They were like the cutest athletic dresses. They had Ralph Lauren little polo hats with their initials on them that said LHS. I hate track. Well, I don't know why
So,
I played.
Deuce, I
did
really
track.
would have impressed you when I was a sophomore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I was
Good looks.
strictly a backup quarterback.
Lots of
Oh
stirrups.
yeah.
Eye black
Oh,
with the baseball hat, with the
Oh,
Everett High
okay.
football hat,
Oh.
Okay.
helmet on the bench,
Oh yeah.
It's good. You're
Were you
you're a true
were-
backup?
with the clipboard.
Were you?
Oh.
I was always jealous of the kids
Oh, yeah.
who had the cutoff shirt in high school football. You know, like,
like
they,
the
you know, and they got
Oh,
they got the abs
yeah.
out. I didn't have the.
So
abs
that came
to
after
share.
me. We had
Yeah.
like traditional uniforms,
Yeah.
and then like late '80s, early '90s, they had they went to mesh. and
Yeah,
then they
right. The
went to,
mesh.
like,
Yeah.
they went to like the
Brian
cut.
Bosworth.
I'm glad I didn't have to wear that. I never really had abs to pull that off. So.
No, me neither. Me neither.
Zeke is like the iconic
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
one I
Zeke,
think
yeah.
of.
Yeah, Zeke
yeah.
wears the belly shirt.
I just remember my football pants never fit right. They
Oh,
were either
no.
too tight or too loose. I just couldn't get the right fit. on my
Stupid
football
butt
pants.
pad, the one in the back, and
I had a good pair of pants my senior year.
it seems that's one thing I would say. Like, it just seems so much better how you can get those hip pads and your thigh pads, and it was like you were putting together like an erector set, trying to get all those
Oh.
like in the
Well,
pockets,
it
and
got
then to
so
get it
bad that
on, and it fits right, and it feels
My dad
tight.
took me to this place. Back then, there was a sporting goods place called Herman's in
Oh,
New
yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, my dad
Herman's.
worked at
And
We
Herman's.
are
so we
sports.
bought pants from Herman's
Yeah.
that actually fit, but the knee pad kept falling off. The ref would be like, "Whose knee pad?" So I
All
don't
that like foam pads. Like, what
Yeah.
is this helping? Where they get the knee ones, the thigh
Yeah.
ones, the butt
Yeah.
pad. Like,
And for pitchers, you don't wear the hip pads,
yeah.
right? So you have like your shoulder pads on, and then you have like this tiny little waist because you don't have your pads on,
Yeah.
and you look like you have the V shape. I do not have a V shape.
Even with the shoulder pads, even with
Oh
the
no,
giant
I look
80s
look
shoulder
like
pads.
you look like you did,
Yeah,
but
right.
I didn't in
Cheerleaders
reality.
liked it there. Like, then they saw the real thing and like, oh,
Well,
that's not a
they-
V shape. That wasn't what I was hoping
It didn't
for.
stop me.
We heard from Saba's husband. Now we hear from Saba.
They're
She's
they're
calling
passing
in.
the
It's
phone
a
around.
family affair. What's up, Saba?
Hey guys, I just want to let y'all know that my husband's the one that got me to first call into my first sports talk radio when we were in Massachusetts together. We were in residency up there, and I called a guy on Saturday mornings. He did a lot of hockey.
Was it Alex
Don't
Barth?
recall what his name was. I don't know. It was WEI though.
Ty?
Who was on
Was
that
this
channel?
EEI
Saturday
or the
morning.
Sports Hub?
That's well, they do the hockey
It
show.
was EEI because I think that was before the EEI.
Oh,
That
well,
was
Ty
like,
does the one on the Sports
like
Hub, which I
90,
highly
99.
recommend. The
It was
hockey show.
99.
Oh.
Yeah, he wasn't even
Ty
born.
was a
yet.
child.
1999?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about now.
99 on Saturday morning. Who would have that
Yeah.
been? Yeah, I probably
Hockey.
should know that
Who was
answer.
that guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Mike Milbury is
I know.
something.
Was it Dale Arnold?
Dale,
No.
That's a good guess.
Dale
too.
Arnold. Oh, might have been. My husband
Yeah.
keeps saying it was Dean. Maybe it was Dale. That's who it probably was.
Could have been. Yeah.
Because we couldn't remember who it was. But now I'm a junkie. I love listening to stuff and talking. And it's just like having an open conversation with people that you enjoy talking with and listening to. So
Yeah.
I really do appreciate you guys. But can I chime in on the Jaden Daniels thing?
Yeah.
That other
Oh,
gentleman that called in about don't have any remorse about thinking Jaden was better than Drake, because majority of people thought so. Not me, because I saw Drake play in person. You know, I'm a Tar Heel. But anyhow, what Jaden Daniels does is in his first season, he did what we call pass to run. I call them PTRs. So they were designed pass plays, called pass plays on 3rd and long, 4th and long, but he was just going to run. So he would go back there for about 2 seconds, and then he would just find a little crease and run for like 20 yards, 30 yards, right, and get the first down. Well, what happened is this year, people wised up to it. And they're like, no, sir, you're going to have to actually throw the ball. So his pass and runs did not work, so he would get sacked. And then every time he had a bad game, they'd be like, oh, he's hurt, but no x-rays were ever positive. So he never actually got injured all season long except one dislocated elbow that was that guy from St. Louis. He came back from the next week. Kurt Warner came back the next week from a dislocated elbow, and he had ligament damage. Jaden Daniels never had ligament damage. So he never was actually injured, guys. This was soft benching by the Redskins because they tried to hide him because he was not himself. He was not prepared. He was not reading defenses. Every pass play, he tried to run. So I think Drake May is definitely the long-term play here.
Okay. All right.
I like the last sentence. I
Thanks,
don't
Sabah.
agree with any of the other sentences. he missed 10 games. Don't tell me he wasn't hurt.
Yeah, no, he was hurt. Yeah, they do some of those, RPOs or, what does she call them? PPRs or whatever.
Pass to run.
Where he's like reading a defender in the middle of the field, usually the mic, and like when the mic zone drops into certain areas, he has the option to then like convert it into a run, but it's kind of like basically an RPO. They kind of have like a read based off of where the guys are dropping out and stuff like that, of whether or not he's going to pass it or run it. But I mean, he made plenty of great throws his rookie season, so he's a really good player.
He threw the ball as much as rookie season as Drake threw it last year.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, they're different runners.
About 10 attempt difference.
Jaden
480
Daniels
to
is
490.
more running in structure by design, whereas Drake May is more of a scrambler.
Yeah.
So I'd say that they're different in that respect.
We've been remiss. We've gone an hour and 21 minutes,
wow.
and we didn't mention yesterday's headline.
That's true.
Gronkowski
Gronk.
is the new inductee into the Patriots Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Rob Gronkowski,
Sorry,
the newest
Fred.
member of the Patriots Hall of
And I was
Fame.
gonna say
There we go. I tried Adam, and so did James Pettigrew. He said he voted for Adam 12 times by changing my IP address, but it made no difference.
That's pretty
but-
interesting.
Suddenly he ended up with 24 votes.
But, even Gronkowski mentioned it was cool getting in on the first ballot.
Yeah.
He absolutely deserves to, no doubt, but so does Vinatieri. But
Yep.
but congratulations, Gronkowski.
Absolutely, and it was you got the full Gronk.
It was so Gronk.
That'll be a really good induction. That'll
Oh,
be
man.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I
calling in from a pontoon boat.
think
Like,
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was on
I
Karen,
walked in.
Gronk, are you on a boat? Yes, I am,
Yeah.
Karen.
single engine pontoon boat. Nothing,
Nothing
fancy.
fancy.
No, go slow.
brand new.
Yeah.
that I just bought. First time I'm
This is my
driving.
first time on it today, and I'm already a Hall of Fame boat driver.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the best is like how in like on was this Microsoft Teams or whatever software. I don't want
Yeah.
to get us in trouble.
It
but
was a Teams
You know
call.
how like you can like put your name at the bottom, and
Yeah.
you could write Evan Lazar. He wrote Mr. Patriots Hall of Famer.
No, that's great. It's good for him.
Yeah, he was really excited about it. He said that Robert Kraft actually left him a voicemail. I guess he didn't answer for some reason, and he left him a voicemail. And he said that he'd save the voicemail forever. He said, he doesn't really save voicemails too often. And then the other thing that I thought was really cool was him talking about, him and Julian Edelman going in back-to-back years. And obviously they are super close and have the podcast together now and all that stuff. And he said, remember us back in 2010, two young idiots, and now we're back-to-back first ballot Patriots Hall of Famers. Yeah.
I think either one of those guys ever partied.
He was talking about their
Did they ever have a beer?
partying, and I would have maybe left that part out. But he said that he told some story about them at a club in Boston one time, and then he was like, we went from that to back first ballot Patriots Hall of Famers. It was pretty cool.
That's what's cool for me is those are the first two guys that I can honestly say I saw I knew every moment of their career. I saw every game they played. I saw from the moment they were drafted. I was writing about them, talking about them. It just to see that all come full circle, and to go from those moments of Gronk arriving here on the draft stage, and you just knew this guy is hilarious. I mean, I was so. I didn't do anywhere near the draft research, that I do now, but just who is this guy? Getting all his brothers out there, all the stories we've heard, and then I remember. We've talked about it before, but it was like James didn't he drag Laurinaitis like his first preseason game against the Rams? He
believe it was
had one
Laurinaitis,
foot
yep.
and hop pulling James Laurinaitis, big OSU linebacker. That just what a career. I mean, and every injury that they had. I remember taking every injury they had, feeling it. Edelman breaking his arm that year, and Gronk that 2013 when he got hit by what's his face against the Browns and blew his knee out, and just
Safety.
feeling sick
TJ
to
Ward.
myself. TJ Ward, or when he was on the field in 15, rolling around. These are just moments you just
that one
never
was weird.
forget.
Yeah,
right?
like
And
the
he was
next day.
okay.
His career was over for crying out
But
loud.
how many? There's nothing worse when you cover this team and or if you're just a fan, and those moments on the field when a guy's down and
I hate
waiting for
injuries.
Vrabel to lay hands on, but it's just
I hate
well,
injuries.
that's it for him. And you're instantly your brain populates everything that this means and who's going to have to step up and how long is it going to take till this guy can possibly get back, and will he be the same player?
What about all the hand wringing before the 2011 Super Bowl? About whether he was gonna
right,
play or
that
not?
one. I mean,
Yeah,
so that's a great one, Fred, because it was he got hurt, he left, and he came back in. He was, he's playing at the end of the game. He went in there and blocked on a field goal or something like that, and he's, jumping around on the field with the AFC Championship, and you're like, all right, well, maybe he's okay. I just so remember those ups and downs, or Edelman tearing his ACL in the 2017 preseason.
That was a killer.
I'm pointing out all the horrible moments with these
Mike.
guys. There were obviously so many great moments that we discussed ad nauseum, but you still remember every up and down of these guys' career, and it's cool to see it come full circle.
Yeah, it's cool to to see Brady, Edelman, Gronk go in
1, 2,
3
3.
years of succession, especially for Patriots fans. We were talking about it on Catch 22 yesterday of those are our guys, right? Those are the guys that we grew up as super fans of. Now they're going into the Patriots Hall of Fame, and I'm so glad that Gronk has come back to the Patriots post retirement, because he didn't leave on the best of terms. Certainly didn't leave on the best of terms with Bill, and goes to Tampa Bay, wins the Super Bowl with Brady down in Tampa Bay, and he has fully embraced being a Patriot in his post-playing career. And that I think is really cool, because I can't really say that about the other guy, to be honest. So, to see him, care so much about the Patriots, he still is, lives up here a little bit, for a lot of the year, and has his house up here, and wanted to retire a Patriot, last season. Now he goes into the Hall of Fame. So he's done a ton of things in the community around here as well. So it's cool to have, I feel like we kind of have him back, the way he left and stuff like that wasn't great. And now you kind of have him back, and he could not have been, he was over the moon about it yesterday.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So that happened yesterday. Forgot all about it. Yeah.
So that happened.
Yeah. Deuce, says Timothy, Cooperalls and hockey in the 80s were cool.
I think they're so bad they're
Well,
cool
the Flyers had those, right?
now. Flyers, the
I
Whalers,
think the Whalers had 'em.
Canucks, maybe. There are a few teams that had it. I never
Providence
had 'em.
College wore them in
Providence
Hockey
College,
East.
yeah.
There was an old game on Nesson a couple of months ago, and I was watching. They came on, and I immediately texted Deuce. Deuce, Casey's on with the Cooperalls.
So why does they look so wrong?
They
It's,
did.
they
Well,
look-
remember when baseball tried to go with shorts for a second?
No, really.
The White Sox did
The
it.
White Sox,
Baseball didn't go with
Shorts.
shorts. The White Sox did it.
How do you
and
slide?
Their players
How do you slide?
basically
They get all cut up.
Right.
had a mutiny.
Yeah.
Bill Veck.
Yep. Hey, Ace, where's my food?
It's right next to you. It's been here for
Oh,
It's been next to you for 30
oh my
minutes.
God,
buddy.
I didn't even see it.
It's
He
128.
snuck in that back door. All right.
I want to talk about the back door today.
128.
That's May 7th.
Yeah, it's a lot of colonoscopy backdoor talk today. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got a lot of calls, a lot of emails here on Patriots Unfiltered.
Come welcome our newest restaurant additions at Patriot Place.
Estella brings a celebration of flavors with a modern fusion menu, exciting cocktails, and brunch available daily beginning at 11 a.m. Enjoy freshly brewed coffee and Mediterranean-inspired breakfast and lunch from Angel's Cafe. Craving the classics? Chick-fil-A makes it easy to grab your favorite with mobile through, carry-out, and dine-in options. Download the Patriot Place Advantage app for special offers and to earn rewards every time you visit. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Welcome, everybody. The 2026 NFL Draft is in the rearview mirror, and we are here to break down the Patriots draft picks. Guys, we've had a couple days to let it simmer a little bit. Paul, let's start with you. Just what are your overall impressions here of the Patriots 2026 draft class?
I think it was kind of a safe draft class. I think you asked most Patriots fans the top 3 or 4 needs, and in some order, it would have been edge, tackle, tight end. Those 3 positions, and not coincidentally, those are the first 3 off the board. So, someone reached out and they asked, what did you think of the draft? And I said, chalk. And they were like, what does that mean? And I was like, well, it just means all of the positions we all thought they were going to be interested in, they were interested in and took kind of the best player available at the time at those positions.
Yeah.
I think you go tackle, edge, tight end, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like not only are the positions, but the order in which they went in. How many different mock drafts did you reading up to the draft where it was tackle, edge, tight end, just the way the board was going to be set up, right? And I think we talked about the 7 tackles up in the first round and then the deeper edge class and the deeper tight end class, and maybe those are the positions that you can end up waiting on. I think the biggest thing to me, though, the X factor of this whole class is Deuce's guy, Gabe Akis. Like, if Gabe Akis has the clearest path to contribute immediately, the tight end, usually a longer developing position. Obviously, Lomu's probably going to sit behind Will Campbell and Morgan Moses. If Agus can come in and make an immediate impact and maybe push for starting reps early on in his rookie contract, then you feel pretty good about this draft. I kind of felt a little bit subdued compared to the last couple years, but I think that's just because of where they were picking relative to where they were the last 2 seasons.
They didn't have a pick in the 4th round, and that kind of felt like the dividing line to me of the top 3.
I was a little disappointed.
Yeah,
in
it
that.
makes sense. And I mean, let's talk about that a little bit, though, because you said, Paul, the top 3 positions in need. We talked about those spots, and then we got into the 5th round, and we start seeing, Karen Prunty is cornerback, and like, all right, well, that's not a huge need. Then we see another tackle come off the board who admittedly fits the bill. But overall, it seems to me like high hopes for the top 3 guys, maybe Akis the only one immediately out of the gate. But after that, kind of got to wait and see what happens.
It's kind of a red shirt draft.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why people would say that these people that they just took probably for the most part aren't going to be huge contributors or relied upon. I mean, there's always surprises, but they're probably not going to be relied upon. I would just say, just to offer a different perspective, you guys were a little disappointed in the 4th round. That was an aspect that I was kind of excited about, not just because it gave us less players to sort of have to catch up with. But more importantly, because when you have those kinds of situations, when there's individual positions that you want to address, and those guys start coming off the board, Evan talked about the 7 tackles. It was a similar situation with the edge guys and the tight ends. You needed to get aggressive to go up. In the past, I think Bill Belichick at times, especially later in his tenure, would have been content to let it come to him. And if it wasn't there when he got there, oh, well, we'll just go off in a different direction. And that's how you end up sort of being left out of some of the deep positions that Evan was talking about all this draft process. Edge and tight end, those guys were there. They got aggressive and went up and got them. I really liked that element of it.
Yeah, that's why you didn't have a 4th round pick.
And that's the other side of it that I totally agree with. I just thought the 4th round had some value in a draft like this, especially at linebacker and safety, which were 2 positions I thought that they were going to hit. So unless, maybe Prunty ends up being a safety long term, I see some of that with his game, but you kind of missed on the safeties, right? You didn't draft a safety in this draft. And I don't know if we're going to count on the TCU kid to be the depth that they need at linebacker, right? Yeah. We'll see what happens with that. So those were the 2 positions I thought coming out of the draft that if they had at least one of those 4th round picks, you probably hit one of those positions a little bit earlier than what they ended up doing. But I kind of felt like the day 3 was sort of a special teams, fill out the back of the roster kind of day, as it normally is. But maybe you could, for every one of those guys, like there's a Craig Woodson who you get in the 4th round who ends up being a diamond in the rough.
If there was one of those guys 5th round on that were to kind of develop and come out of nowhere, who could have the biggest impact for this team? You think, like, if there's one guy you're circling saying, this, for me, I'm going to say Jam Miller. I think there's an opportunity for a 3rd running back behind Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. It reminded me a little bit of Damian Harris, not to stick to the Alabama thing, but maybe there's an opportunity for him. And of course, I think you got to mention just crown over having another huge tackle, long guy, monster size. I'm excited to see him walk off the bus, as they say, Paul.
Yeah, the tackle is the one that stood out to me just because of what you just said, just the obvious measurables. But I did think it was interesting. Louis Riddick, a very respected, former personnel, guy in the NFL, been doing it for a long time. He likes to put out a list of his favorite non-first round picks for every team, and he tries to stay away from 2nd round picks. Obi Izor was the pick for the Patriots. So maybe he thinks, in 2 or 3 years, there's a chance that he's more than just a special teamer and he might be competing for playing time. I'm not going to pretend that I'm that familiar with his game and his resume. So I'll go with Crownover just because of the obvious. He's got the measurables to succeed at that position. We'll find out if he has the ability to do so.
I would say I'm most excited about Akis. Raritan's exciting too, just because of the developmental tree there. And I'll see if about Loma. I'm still trying to win me over on that one.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I saved Akis for the end, right? Like I was sitting on that, but he plays the way that, and everybody knows it too. You saw, the clips of the scouts talking about him. I mean, he just plays the way that Mike Vrabel and this defense, Zach Core, want their guys to play. And there's just an opportunity for him. Not a well-kept secret that the Patriots needed an edge rusher this year. He's the kind of guy that I think can come right in. And even if he's just as a pass rusher out of the gate, he can bring some power to that edge. Maybe not quite the speed rusher. I know Elliot Wolf said in the pre-draft process that we could use some speed. I don't really care all that much, though. The way that guy plays, I'm just excited to add him to the room.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we probably, and I say we, I mean people like me, probably overrate speed a little bit too much this time of year. The guys like, for example, like a Cassius Howell, who just have this finesse playing style that can win inside out and make tackles look silly in the college game. When you get up to the big boys, like, power is still the foundation of what most of these guys win with. And Akis is one of the best bull rushers in the draft. Most of his moves are power moves, but he does have enough of like an inside counter rip move on the edge that when guys try to come out and get him, he has ways to kind of sleuth around them because they're trying to be aggressive and shut down that bull rush. So he has different ways to beat you. The run defense, I think, is really sturdy as well. And the way he plays through blocks and takes on pullers and, good luck to every tight end that, tries to block him, like all those different kinds of things. He has that ability. I was actually, watching him against Ohio State, and Will Kasmerick, who the Dolphins drafted in the 3rd round. Those two are going to go toe-to-toe for probably the next 3 or 4 years, and Atkins just went right through him to the ball on one rep, and I was like, oh, we'll see that twice a year in the AFC East. So he's got that kind of play style to him.
That's funny. I talked.
And now, great moments in history.
You know when we go to Ford Field to play the Lions?
Yeah.
And they do that pregame show?
Yeah. Oh.
And there's that kid who's like in his early 30s, maybe at most.
At most. Yeah.
And he's like, hey, everybody, welcome to Ford Field. We're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions.
And now we're going to be talking about the Ford rivalry. Yeah.
Like, why do they do that? Why did that become a thing?
It's always been that way.
Hi, everybody. It's like Beth Mullins and the Los Angeles Chargers.
But let's go to Megan O'Brien.
And it's more.
Megan, it looks a little cold today.
That was like a mix of
I would pay you
Johnny
$100.
Announcer voice and Harry Carey.
Right.
I would pay you $100 to do the rest of the show just like that.
Well, I don't know if I could keep it up. That's pretty hard.
That's what she said.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here in Patriots Unfiltered, we're talking everything. Yeah, all kinds of different things.
Draft,
Yeah.
colonoscopies,
UDFA.
uniforms,
TV
superstition,
shows.
John Darius.
Yep.
old-time
He
sitcoms.
emailed in. That's great.
Yeah, and a lot of people calling in. So let's get to the phones. Let's go to Eddie in Florida on line 2. What's up, Eddie? Eddie.
Uh-oh.
Eddie's gone. All right, we'll try line 3. Cam is in North Carolina. Cam.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Quick question and one statement. Brad, I was just wondering if you would have won an hour and a half if Adam Vinatieri would have got selected before remembering.
That's a very good point, Cam.
He's
very
pouting.
good point.
He's pouting.
Very good.
No, I'm just kidding. But also, just another thing is when you guys were talking earlier about people that were supposed to be superstars but maybe didn't. One name that kind of came to mind was Justin Blackmon, and I can't remember if that's somebody that
was
injuries,
off-field
but I
stuff.
feel like off-field
the
stuff.
wide
Okay.
receiver.
Yeah, Justin Blackmon.
Yeah. If I could just ask one more quick question, I was wondering how likely is it that Epton Chisholm actually has a chance of getting on the field this year? I know, obviously, assuming A.J. Brown's there, Romeo Dobbs. I mean, there's a lot of people that are on the depth chart, and just wondering if there's any path to him actually seeing some field time this year.
Yeah.
And I'll take it off air.
I think it's getting real tough for him.
Yeah, I think it depends on, what is their plans with Pop.
Yep.
And, his Pop, him and Booty are both in their final years of their rookie contracts. And all the rumors have been about Booty, I think, because of he has a little bit more trade value probably. But do we get to the end of camp and Efton Chisholm makes a push, and he's kind of the same as Pop, and one's on the last year of his contract,
I think
and
that's
one
his
isn't.
path.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
If Douglas goes, then they're telling you that they like Chisholm at least as much, and that would be a path some playing time.
Yeah.
If it stays the same as it was last year, I don't see him getting any more playing time than he did last year.
Right.
If there's injuries, he'll like he did last year. There were injuries that got him on the roster a few times. I think he caught a pass or two, right?
Yeah.
Against
Caught a
the
touchdown.
Jets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a
Against the
touchdown
Jets.
against the Jets in the JV game.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember
come
that.
on.
The Jets JV.
Darius writes in
the
about
Patriots.
players who didn't pan out. Josh Gordon.
Again, off field. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had his moments, but
Josh Gordon would be, I think, in this conversation because he had some really big years, and then
He led the league in receiving and with the Browns. But the reason why Josh Gordon's career went off the rails is because of what was going on with Josh Gordon.
But wouldn't you? No, I agree. But wouldn't you even say like he never looked like that guy when he played for the Patriots?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
The guy who played for Cleveland. Yeah,
not as dynamic,
and that's not
no
just
way.
because he had issues with marijuana.
Well, yeah, but he was away from football, and he was older once he got to the Patriots.
Yeah, no, it was
so-
definitely off field is
Yeah.
the biggest reason why his career got.
I just don't
derailed.
think he was. It's kind of like Deshaun Watson. He just never recaptured it once his life kind of went off.
don't
the
close
rails.
the book on that yet. He's in the
closing
mix.
book on
Mary
that.
Kay
Yeah,
Cabot says he emerging from the spring as QB1 in
I
Cleveland.
mean,
What about,
when you're picking from a pile of stink,
Correct.
What about the the linebacker from who got ran over by
Brian
Jackson.
Bosworth.
Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, but was he ever really
I
good
mean,
in the pros?
he also got run over by a boat.
Right, which is one of the most overrated plays ever. Not because of Bo, but like to make fun of Bosworth.
I thought you said he got run over by a boat. I was like, a boat. Now I know what you're
What's the
talking about.
difference?
I just thought Fred said a boat. I'm like,
I
he
don't
got run
think-
over by a boat.
I mean, who's the most physical linebacker you can ever think of? He's going to end up in the end zone in that play. Like he's basically on the goal line, and Bo Jackson is a full head of steam when he hits him.
Frabes would have tackled him.
Hightower would have been the answer. If you're gonna
That's a good.
Go
I
all
was just
Patriot.
trying to give coach some props. You know?
I just think that the criticism Bosworth gets on that is really overblown.
Yeah,
it's because he's Bosworth.
But it also is
Ruined his career.
Yeah, he did a lot of things to ruin his career.
I know, but
You
that
ever
was
watch
kind of the.
watch the
I agree
documentary
with
on
Fred.
him.
That's what ruined his career.
Yep. Line 6, Steve in Toronto. What's up, Steve? Steve in Toronto. No? Okay. Steve is gone. Line 5, it's Christian in L.A. What's up?
Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. So, on the draft, really quickly, to me, it's now a wait and see thing. And can you, a question for you guys, can you say that it was a good or bad draft if you never hear the name of any of your rookies during that season? I mean, it was a bad draft. But that's my question. My statement was about Gronk. And I just wanted to say what, to me, made Gronk such an amazing, perfect Patriot. And the first thing that sticks out about Gronk is he embodies, why you love football. And not, the technical part of, okay, guys can catch and they have skill, but, the part when you were a kid, right? And, piling up on top of each other and you and your brothers getting in there and going crazy and playing until it's 11 o'clock at night. That's kind of Gronk for me. And then the second thing is, people don't realize how tough he really was. And he started out with a hurt back, really, and was consistently banged up. And I don't know what people think when they hear, this guy's playing with a sore back or a bad back. But unless you played the sport, you don't really appreciate just how much he went through to stay with the team and never a day without a smile, never complain. And then lastly for me was in the story of the Patriot dynasty, he was the perfect fit to be like the yin to the yang of Bill Belichick's Stark, onto Cleveland, sort of robotic thing. Then you had this border collie energy of Gronk opposite of him. And I just think it really helped make the box of what made the dynasty so special with Gronk a part of it. And my favorite Gronk play to end it up wasn't even really on the field. It was after Tom had retired and decided to come back, and he does that commercial, right? And he holds the football up, and they play the music, and Gronk looks up from the pasture, and, sort of comes running. And I had wished so hard that year that they somehow got Julian together, and they all three were able to sort of ride off into the sunset together for what they've done for us. But that's it, guys. I love you guys, love the show, and I'm looking forward to a great year, no matter if the rookies play or not.
So your favorite Gronk memory is when he went to play with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay?
My favorite memory of Gronk and the way I think about Gronk's effect on everybody, right, was you loved him even though he went to go play with someone else. When you saw that commercial and you knew he was coming back, the guys are going to get back together one more time. It was like the Blues Brothers. Yes, you were rooting for the Blues Brothers, right?
No, I wasn't rooting for them.
All right. Thanks, Christian.
If Edelman went with them, I would have need to be like.
Yeah, no,
that would have been.
I have a Gronk Christmas ornament, and it did not make it to the tree that year. So we put him in.
Yeah.
But he's back on now, but we had to take a year off of that.
I had to unfollow Tom Brady when he was playing for the Bucks.
What did you
I couldn't
You
do it.
unfollowed him?
I unfollowed him. I couldn't do it.
You too?
What?
You have a Gronk Christmas ornament? I'm sorry, I know you don't do Christmas. You explained that to me
Is
earlier.
the ornament the one where he's spiking the ball? Is that the ornament?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that.
I did a little short form video where I just it was just the point of view of taking the ornament out and then putting it back in the box.
Keeping
Not
it in
this year.
storage.
Not this year. Sorry, Gronk. He's back though. He's back.
My favorite part of that call was people don't realize that Gronk was tough. Yeah, that got past a lot of people.
Right about the back injury. I mean, that was big part of why he was. And
the essence of Gronk was how tough he was.
Yeah, I wonder about how it is now. I
Great
mean,
blocker, physical player, overcame injuries.
That seems like the kind of thing that would really haunt you later in life. You played NFL with back injuries from the word go.
I hope not.
I mean, you talk about a guy who could have played in any generation.
Yeah.
Gronk could have played in the 1920s. You know, he was just a football. Like he said, I want to be remembered as a football player.
He was, and I love some of the stories we've heard now as he, is podcasting about how. Because I always wondered. I mean, Gronk has a reputation for being, kind of dumb. I mean, that's let's just call it basically what it is. But so much talk about people picking up Josh McDaniel's system, and you need to be smart, and you have to play with Brady, and Brady's very demanding. And I love the Gronkowski stories that he tells now about like how Brady was on him and the expectations that Brady had for him, and the moments where he felt like he earned Brady's trust and being in the right spot at the right time, and how it didn't just magically happen that Gronk was.
No, thank God he picked it up fast because Brady would have just put him on the back burner and never thrown him the ball if he didn't.
He said that his rookie year, the reason why he didn't play as much is because of the playbook.
Yeah.
He said that yesterday, that he struggled with the playbook at first, and I think that his, he mentioned that he felt like he needed to get drafted at a place like the Patriots that had Bill and had
demanding
structure. That's where I really do agree with Christian.
Rigid.
I think that is a perfect situation.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think
yin and yang.
he felt like he wouldn't have been nearly as good if he went someplace that
If
let
he
him.
went to a real loose players coach, he may not have fulfilled his potential.
Yeah. No, Bill definitely worked on him. But what I love so much about hearing him tell stories is like when Edelman tells stories about some of his good moments and stuff. Like he knows that he like kind of was like a dirt dog and had to like earn everything. When Gronk does it, he's just like, I was just better than that guy.
I threw him out the club.
Thrown out the club. That's what I always think of with Gronk. Like that's the first memory that pops into my mind. I threw him out the club.
Sergio Brown. I mean, you were around Sergio Brown a little bit in the locker room, Paul. Was there something that you could see that kind of attitude that you might want to throw him out of the club if he was on the other team?
No, but I don't really talk about Sergio Brown. He's another guy who's run afoul of the law.
Oh, really? Has he?
Google that.
Former
Google
Indianapolis
that.
Colt, of course.
He's rumored to have killed his mother.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was kind of recent. Like the
should have thrown him out of more than the
years or
club, I
so.
guess.
Bad stuff, Sergio Brown. He's accused of. Alleged.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Back to line 6. Steve in Toronto's going to give it another shot. What's up, Steve?
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, long-time listener. Last time I called in was 2010, I think.
Oh, boy.
I remember.
Yeah.
15
You
years
weren't even
ago.
there, Deuce.
That was Paul.
That's
I was
Paul.
here.
Don't worry. I would.
Paul was there.
Unfortunately, I've been at all of them.
Okay. First, I was going to say something negative, but I don't have much time, so enough of that. Fred, Paul, thank you for everything. You guys have been so good. I do miss Big Head and Eric, but flowers to our ball knower, because the difference between the,
The actual football.
recaps are like between like night and day. So props to the ball knower. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for like
Kudos.
leaving
Bar's pretty low.
how do I say, bringing reality to this wacky crew.
You think we're unrealistic? Oh.
Well, I was going with wacky.
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 And Alex isn't wacky.
They don't see all
I've
that.
also noticed that Fred is not in the gnome chair.
Right? Good observation.
And Deuce is now there, and he does look smaller.
Yeah, we all look the same size. I think we found.
Yeah,
and
Deuce is a lot taller than us.
I also noticed the other day that what was going on with Fred. He was wearing a tight T-shirt, and in his arms he was all jacked, showing off the gun.
Well, that's why I had to wear a sweater. People were scared. I was like frightening people. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I just want to say I love you guys. I'm a little bit negative. I'm very disappointed in Mike Vrabel. But I'll leave it at that because I think he's hurt the team in credibility. I hope he comes back stronger and better for everybody.
Okay. Sounds good, Steve.
Good call.
Thanks,
Yep.
Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
for reading.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Let's go to Eddie in Florida. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, guys. So you guys touched on the ugly Chicago White Sox uniforms with their shorts. Don't forget their
shirts had collars.
Collars.
Oh, that Chris Sale. Remember Chris Sale cut it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were they thinking?
I don't know.
What were they thinking?
He wouldn't
But
wear
that's
that
when I knew
throwback.
I loved Chris Sale.
Yeah.
A couple of other uniforms from the 80s that were hideous was the horizontal stripes on the Astros, and then the Padres with the poop brown color.
Bad uniforms. But in general, the 70s baseball uniforms were great.
I hated the Pittsburgh caps.
Oh, they were awesome. I loved
you
those.
like those?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Loved those.
I like the poop. I
wore
like the
those
Padres
in CYO
uniform.
one year.
Ugh. Awful.
My guy Xander.
Quick Patriot comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Gabe Yakis reminds me of Keon White, except with the leadership skills and a great attitude. He could be a decent one. We'll see.
Everyone is comparing him to Keon White.
Yeah, it's disappointing me.
I know.
Yeah.
We know better.
Yeah,
we
come
know
on.
more than this.
We need to know better.
Especially
It's
when
not even similar at all.
Yeah.
They're not the same player at all.
No. Jose's in Texas on line
Sorry, I
2.
don't
What's
mean to
up,
be
Jose?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Brad, I really miss Paul and his shows. Anyway,
Thanks.
how about Kenny Moore for a Patriot that got away? I think he's pretty good on the Colts.
Who?
Kenny Moore?
Oh, the corner?
Yeah, good player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, good
He
player.
was one of the few of those like UDFA guys that Bill let go that ended up actually
Yeah,
being
Jay Jones kind of there.
Grugier Hill.
Yeah.
He went on to-
Grugier Hill had a
decent
pretty
year.
good career,
Yeah,
mostly
decent.
special teamer, but he's been
Kenny
around.
Moore
He
is,
was
like,
around the league
good.
for. Kenny Moore's a good player.
Yeah, but I think it was between him and Jonathan Jones, and they picked Jonathan Jones, who's also a very good.
Was that the
Patriot.
same?
You can hang up.
Relatively. Yeah, I don't know if they were the exact
no,
same.
Jones
year,
might have
but-
just
Can't
gotten
argue
there.
with either one there.
Yeah.
Tim writes in, Andy Katzenmoyer was a first-round 28th overall from Ohio State who was a bust due to injury.
He was a bust.
He was a bust.
Yeah, he was never good, right?
No.
But he was never good.
Never came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That was my first introduction to Mike Vrabel. Because they had played together at Ohio State, and in 2001, Mike came in as a free agent, and the big cat didn't show up for training camp. He was AWOL.
Because he was mad about it.
And everybody's asking Mike Vrabel about Andy Katzenmoyer.
Because he went to Ohio State.
And he was great. Vrabel was, like, you'd think, like, it's none of my business, but, like, he was answered all the questions and was, that was
James
my
Pettigrew.
first sign that he was a little different, Vrabel.
James Pettigrew throws out Albert Hainsworth's name. He was good. He just wasn't good when he was here, right?
Yeah.
But he was here.
That might be pretty good, though. I don't know.
He had a good enough career.
Yeah, he was here really late in his career. Like he was already
I was
over the
excited
hill
about
at
that
this
one.
point.
Pat Nagawam about TV shows. I can't
right.
believe Jack in Ann Arbor left off Hogan's Heroes. For the subject matter, the show itself was pretty wholesome and innocuous. To this day, I still quote Colonel Schultz, I know nothing, see nothing.
Yeah.
Now, I have a funny story about Hogan. You know, my father was in World War II and Korea and all that stuff. So a bunch of us were in our living room watching Hogan Hero. My father walks in and goes, there's nothing funny about a German POW camp, and just walks out. And we're all like,
Damn.
you know.
You have
Valid.
to stifle
Yeah.
your laugh the next joke that comes out. That was a funny show.
Yeah, I've seen that one because my dad has
don't know
watched
that
it
one.
on reruns.
Hogan's
and
Heroes
stuff.
was a funny show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kalink.
Good acting. Bob Crane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another weird guy.
Bob Crane. Oh.
Google it.
Yeah.
I'm telling the kids to Google a lot of
Bob
stuff.
Crane.
Uh-oh.
If we want to talk about hosiery. ZJ, I'm a huge gamer, and I would recommend Fallout TV shows on Prime Video. Very good, even if you don't know anything about the game.
I think I watched the first
Fallout
pilot of that. Yeah, I'm familiar with the game.
I'm not big on adaptations from video games, but
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, The Last of Us is excellent.
yeah.
I didn't like the girl.
Oh.
She bothered me.
You don't like girls?
No.
Which girl?
The lead
He's a
girl.
one girl.
The Bella Ramsey.
Oh, you didn't like her.
I
yeah.
don't care for her acting.
From the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Which one is she in Game of Thrones?
She's she's great in Game of Thrones. I
Yeah.
thought she was great.
What-
The
Who
tough
does she
one.
play?
The young girl who's like
Arya?
queen already. She
Oh,
was kind of
yeah.
a leader.
She's
and
great.
She's great in
She's
that.
not good in this.
I just didn't like her in this.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
She's good in Game of
Sorry.
Thrones. Yeah, great.
Yeah, she was okay.
I don't know. I
Great character.
thought it could have been better.
I don't love that
casted.
whole storyline, but I'm waiting for it to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big season.
Anybody doing? Me and Paul did. I got Paul into. Sorry for this. DTF St. Louis, which is one of the most off the
Very
wall,
bizarre show.
One of the most off the wall shows
We
I've ever seen.
tried that, and one episode in, we both looked at each other and we're like, nope,
I was
not
like,
for us.
And if I had to do it over again, I think I would go, nope.
No, it's a comedy, it's an investigative drama, it's a regular drama. It was all over the map. But I don't know. There were some really funny moments.
There are some funny moments,
know.
but it's just too weird.
Like the first episode, and he's like gawking at the neighbor, and she's like way too young, and I was like, this is just weird. Like I'm out.
That's
like
nothing.
Yeah, well, that was weird to me.
In terms
I
of
was
the oddities of that show, that's nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this show went fast. Talk about odd shows.
Yeah.
Already 159. Chris with a TIN. Michael Crabtree. Does he make the list?
Sorry ass receiver like
Michael Crabtree could be on that list. He was pretty good.
Well, he was really good in college,
but he wasn't bad with
He was
San
okay.
Francisco initially, and he didn't really last.
He had that game-winning touchdown here in 2012.
Yeah. With a sorry receiver
Very
like
disappointing.
Crabtree. I mean, his like Richard Sherman is getting dunked on by Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Well, we got a lot of emails. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of them, but I appreciate everyone calling in, emailing in on this Thursday freeform show.
Yeah.
So next week we got the rookies coming in on May 7th.
Yeah, no Paulie all week.
So that no Paul's in Italy. Can you call in from Italy?
Back to the homeland.
I could, but I won't.
Okay. All right.
He's going to be.
They have phones
there.
Unfortunately, they do work overseas. The cell phone bills have been ridiculous.
My
son.
Yeah.
He's been overseas for 18 weeks, so it's been expensive.
Well, have a good time in Italy.
Thank you.
Eat some pasta for us.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait to hear about the food. That's what I'm most excited to hear what you think about.
What's the name?
Do they
of
have
the sandwich
Chinese
shop I'm
restaurants in
going
Italy?
to?
Alentico Veneo.
Yeah, I'll have an Italian, please.
Florence.
Everything but tomatoes. Thank you.
Do they have Chinese restaurants in Italy?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Never been?
Not one.
Not one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just speculating.
All right. Going to go to Tuscana. Try to get a... They're all sold
Tuscany?
out.
There's nothing in Tuscany.
There's nothing in Tuscany.
Get them off a letter.
Are you telling me there are no villas in Tuscany?
No, nada. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Hey, this is Deuce. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else that we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.